Well, that's a heavy question, Nanako. Is Nanako talking about her mother, who died in an accident? Your current level No! Okay, how do I increase expression? This I know this is mostly a joke, but just like every time you guys talk about like Jean Grey or the X-Men, I just can't help it. Like now, I just think, according to Matchstick, to be a good Marvel editorial, okay, we're gonna kill Jean Grey. Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, okay, what's he evolving into? Whoa! It's that's actually amazing. It's just a bouquet with muscles.
Everyone on guard.
That is
better.
Oh, that's actually amazing. Oh my gosh, its weapons are literally just, you know, the male sign, the male symbol. That's amazing.
I am a shadow, the true self. I'm just being true to myself.
Oh my goodness, they have his cheeks are flushed.
Yeah. Yeah, but I still love the fact that it's just a bouquet that's just a bodybuilder.
I'll get rid of anything in my way.
I think this might be my favorite shadow I've encountered so far. This is an amazing design. I can't wait to see what Kanji's persona actually is.
No! Wheelchair-bound baryonyx!
Oh my gosh. I thought this whole time she was, because again,
I know, but she's a baryonyx.
Okay.
Which I've been saying.
I just thought this whole time she was just one of like these bozos that like are able to like eat like they're you know, because they're like able to also eat dinosaurs too. So like I'm just saying, I thought she was one of these guys. That's what I'm saying. I thought she was one of these things. So
they call her Ironic Hug That Gator because she looks like an alligator.
Okay. I thought she was. I thought she wasn't.
I think that you three would make wonderful boyfriends. Stop it! You got it all wrong. Enough. Stop! What the hell are you blabbering about? I don't care who. Won't someone, anyone please accept me? Stop it! Accept me for who I am! Whoa, whoa! I really don't swing that way! I said stop it! Can't believe something like this is inside me.
Yes! All that shit is what made me into a nihilist. I could feel you trying not to say it, Genghis. I know.
It's a force of habit at this point, but it's not appropriate.
I know. I can feel you going. Don't say it, Chang.
I wouldn't say you're a nihilist.
I can feel you struggling.
Because
I know.
You're not a nihilist, Olivia. Because that sounds exhausting.
Louis doesn't care about anything. He's a nihilist.
Oh, that must be exhausting.
I'm gonna be 100% honest. I honestly believe that the pride flag as a design is atrocious.
The new pride flag, design aside, is copyrighted. So in order to use that you need to pay someone.
What?
So wait,
wait. Should I then not show this right now? Do I have to pay for showing that? What?
No, it's fine.
Sure. I never really caught the whole anime stuff, but I like to know what it's about.
Well, if you really want to know, it's not really like ARM. It's called
Oh
Gundam.
my gosh, she's just like me for real, for
For
real!
real, for real. Okay, like, oh.
It's called Gundam! Oh my gosh, that's amazing! She... I still have a bunch of model kits I need to build. Oh my gosh, she's just like... She knows about Gundam! Did you say... Did you say Gundam?
そうそう。もうすぐにでもオープンできるよ。蒼天堀支店。電話も通ったし、看板も出した。大丈夫。もうちゃんとやってるって。
Goodness gracious, Akiyama, why do you live like this? It's like, I'm at the new Sotenbori office, and it's just a fucking pigsty. This man can't take care of himself.
He was supposed to open this office months ago, Chang. He spent all that time just lazing about and getting beer.
If you told me in the past that my art would look like Tumblr art today on stream, I'd fucking just quit art. Look at Jean here. She's literally the epitome of like how like a Tumblr art draws like women and stuff. So it's just like a Tumblr art or Jean Grey. It's like,
well, correction. Certain. I think it's for certain because she's not around like a basketball.
oh, fair enough.
Like Tumblr art, like when I think of Tumblr art, I just think like all the characters are like basketball shaped, like Steven Universe. That's kind of my. But this is like one of those. You're purposely drawing them like quickly and like badly, but it's part of like a comic strip. Like that's kind of the point where you're kind of just doing a parody.
I'm not supposed to be bad, man. If the blood of Christ is supposed to be, you know, his semen inside Mary Madeline's pussy, what is the bread? What's the bread, Gandalf? If
what? Wait, that was an actual line?
No, it's not an actual line. The whole point of the Da Vinci Code is that the Holy Grail is supposed to be Mary Madeline's, you know, womb, because the whole point was, the blood of Christ is actually his DNA. It's like, so Gandalf, if you're telling me that the blood of Christ is his cum, what is the bread? Is it Mary's like boobs? Is it her body? What's the bread? I'm just thinking of that now. It's like, what's the bread, Gandalf? What's the bread, Magneto? This time he's slow to puff on it.
Oh my gosh, that's Dr. Mist. Holy shit! He's the monarch!
Oh, it's the monarch!
He's been the
Oh!
monarch this whole time!
Oh! You see my beautiful bride over there? He motions. Oh my god! He motions to the tall ember of his smoke. Oh, I get it! Oh, the villain! Resonating with in my tired mind. Okay. Inko, what's that poking in the back of my head, Olivia? Oh my goodness, Olivia! Why is yours bigger than mine? You thought a black company was run by black people,
A
Chelsea?
guy's walking around at night, he just looks around.
Okay.
I love how Rias just replied to you. Did you expect anything else?
Hey. Oh, you mean
Like,
in the
let's be-
Oh, you mean in the Discord? Are you you mean Civil War? Look.
Yeah.
Look, I thought. Look, I okay. Well, I could talk about it more in a bit. Real quick, Chelsea, Ray,
Well, it's just-
Nod, I see you guys in chat. Can you hear us? Are we coming through? Or are we just figments of your imagination? Ooh, audio's good? Okay, let's get this party rolling then. Now, just a quick reminder that you can support me through Stream Elements. It is completely optional, but your support allows me to keep making content such as buying new games, art streams, and more. And then now,
To show you.
show me? What do you want to show me?
Yes.
Pitch
Death.
Perfect.
Let me just.
You know, I've never seen a Pitch Perfect movie. I don't know why. That's just came to mind when you said Pitch Perfect. I just thought, oh yeah, those like Pitch Perfect movies. I never watched any of them, so. Just the two of us, Chelsea.
So we talked about this before when it comes to X-Men, but
Okay.
this is the first oldest video
X-Men.
I remember watching on the internet.
X-Men
by
Death
myself.
Becomes Den. Fixed edition. Oh, okay.
It's the fixed one. I watched like the OG one, so
Okay. What's the big idea behind this?
just you'll get it as soon as you watch it.
All right. I guess this has become a. You know what? The podcast can wait. We're now React streamers. Let's turn off that background music.
Yeah,
All right, screw it. We're React streamers this time. That's right.
Look,
the podcast
cast
can
is
wait.
not here.
Yeah, still, screw it. There's no podcast. It's just React streamers. We're like Hassan, Hassan Piker. Everyone loves Hassan,
Oh,
right?
boy.
So everyone loves Hassan and his React content. So
Okay, turn on the video while I go to the bathroom.
oh, okay.
And had no idea that this was all a plot by Magneto.
Whoa!
Look at this. Yeah, Matt? Well, I was looking at this thing about improving our YouTube channel, and it says you should always have transcripts. Okay. Well, I checked, and YouTube already put transcripts in. But everything's all wrong. We have to fix it.
Oh,
look at the microphone.
Yeah. Everything good? Joe?
Yeah, I'm just double checking.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what?
Well, that transcript was generated by Google. Clearly, Google can't be wrong. It must have been
Google's
us that made the
never
mistake.
wrong.
To think this dialogue has been wrong for 10 years. We have to fix this.
Whoa! Fixed it!
Your voice checks man had no idea that this was all a plot. Partner Nito.
It's not that much of a surprise.
Hold on, eh? Didn't I just kill you 4 months ago?
Oh, I get it. Okay,
Yeah,
they
I
were
cut
making
your
fun
head off.
of Google.
Oh, he's Canadian. No, Logan, why do you have to remind me you're Canadian, not Australian, you bastard?
Wait, don't worry. I'll find the original.
No, it's alright, this will do.
No, it's not like the whole of humor.
Okay. If I'm trying to
Here,
be
I got it.
If I'm trying to be a son, I can't say shit, Ray. Oh, you're right. I have to just let the video play as it is and not commentate at
Yeah,
all.
we can't have commentary right now. Okay, I got the OG one.
The OG one? Alright.
The one that I watched as a young lad.
As a young lad. Mr. Boomer Ninjata here is trying to show me his childhood. So... Oh man, look at this. Oh, look at that beautiful, glorious 480p. This is beautiful. Thank you, Ninjato. Very cool. 480p, let's go!
Foolish X-Men had no idea that this was all a plot by Magneto.
Magneto!
It's not that much of a surprise.
Hold on, eh? Didn't I just kill you
Magneto!
4 months ago?
No.
Yeah, I cut your head off.
Lockheed's right. You should be dead.
Wait, who's she? Is that supposed to be Jean?
No, that's supposed to be Shadowcat because Lockhead is the little dragon she has.
Shadowcat? Wait, she has a dragon?
Oh yeah, that's Lockhead. It's been around since the 80s from the Space Adventures. They never adapt it in any versions of Shadowcat in other media.
Oh my
It's
god.
only if you know the comics.
Okay.
Ed.
It's a really funny story. You
Blame
see,
the
that was
other
actually
mediums.
Alright.
The Magneto robot built by Factor 3 to fool Ornidane into believing that I...
No, that was the second time you died, back in the 60s.
Oh, well, you see, after being possessed by Apocalypse...
No, that was me.
That was me.
Right.
Oh, Mashik's here.
How did I die this time?
After...
Hey, hold on. Let me fix my thing then, since he's here now.
I'm having him watch a Death Becomes Them reacting to the making fun of X-Men.
I didn't know Kitty had a pet dragon thing, so okay.
You're infiltrating Xavier's school as Zorn. You shot Emma, hopped yourself up on drugs, destroyed New York.
What drugs?
He beat you up and Wolverine hopped off your head. Yeah. Oh, and you killed Jean.
And Jean died again. And Mashik cheered.
No, don't change the subject here. Why aren't you dead?
Oh, that. Well, you see, that wasn't me.
Oh, really now?
It was actually Zorn's twin brother, possessed by the sentient mold Sublime.
Who is Zorn?
He's just this random character. So this is essentially making fun of the Grant Morrison run.
Okay.
Because that's how it ends. And Zorn was this other character introduced in that run and then gets killed off by the end of the run.
Wow. Okay.
Pretending to be me, pretending to be Zorn.
That defies all logic.
Oh, like none of you have ever died before.
I haven't.
Yes, you have. You've died twice.
Lucky wants to know if we're counting alternate timelines?
I don't think so.
Well, I guess that means you haven't died.
I
Of
haven't
course,
died
alternate
either.
timelines.
At least not to the best of my recollection.
I've died once, and he's died...
Oh, I've lost count.
Hello, evil villain enacting his plan over here.
No, wait. I want to figure this out.
Killed in Japan.
Fine, I'll just kill all
I was killed in Japan.
of
I
you.
died in Hong Kong.
Well, that
Hong
would only
Kong?
serve to compound the conundrum when we all come
Remember
back.
that thing before the
Oh my
70s.
god, wait. Has Lockheed died? No one dies tonight. So says the Phoenix.
Let's die tonight.
For Christ's sake.
See more at youtube.com. Floating Hand Studios.
Yeah, it's a channel that makes fun of X-Men comics.
Wow. Alright.
The 2000. It becomes ridiculous, but yeah.
Okay then. Wow, alright.
I can't remember about the other video I wanted you to react to, but yeah, but X-Men. You can never take the X-Men too seriously.
Okay. Alright then. Alright.
Because you have time travel as like their main
time travel, everyone's brought back from the dead. Man, I like comics. Don't you love comics when, like, I don't know, people just never stay dead?
I actually do. It makes it entertaining. Especially, it's not so much them coming back, it's the how they come back is the fun part. Like, all the stuff that Magneto said that, like, oh, that was a Magneto robot. Those are actual things.
Magneto robot. Ooh. Oh, no, you don't get it. It's a Magneto robot. What? Yeah.
Also, there was a saga where Magneto got turned into a baby.
Okay. Let's go.
And then grew back.
Let's go, X-Men babies. That's what it's all about.
No. In fact, it didn't happen in the X-Men book.
What, an Avengers book?
No, the Defenders.
The Defenders? Who are they?
No, and not the Defenders what you think of. Not the Matt Murdock. This was the Defenders back in the 70s or 80s at this point.
Okay.
Doctor Strange and like Hulk and Namor and Silver Surfer.
Namor.
Yeah.
No, not the time I was reading. It was Doctor Strange, Hulk, Valkyrie, Hellcat,
okay,
and Blackhawk, I think.
Blackhawk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's all right.
So So not like
I don't think it was
necessarily-
What
Okay.
What was it? What? Just a second.
The Defenders, Marvel 70s.
Man, I don't know. You come in here swinging with X-Men and all. And I don't know anything. The only thing I know.
Darkhawk.
Nighthawk.
Nighthawk.
Oh, Nighthawk.
You think?
Ooh, that's a cool name.
Nighthawk, Darkhawk.
I am Nighthawk. Ah! That's a cool name.
Yeah, Nighthawk. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a cool name, though. I'm not gonna lie. Nighthawk. It's like Nighthawk sounds like a I say this in the best way possible. Nighthawk sounds like a Transformer name. Nighthawk, transform!
Yeah. But yeah, it happened in their comics in like 18. In fact, it is actually used. So this is fun. So 97 actually adapted a part of a storyline called The Trial of Magneto, which is Uncanny X-Men 200.
Okay.
And it was a big double-sized issue, and Magneto got arrested like an issue or two before by the Freedom Force. The Freedom Force consisted of Mystique, Pyro, Blob, Destiny, and Avalanche.
Okay, Avalanche.
Yes, they were the Brotherhood of Mutants, except they now work for the government.
Oh, that sounds worse.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's what happened, and like Mystique introduced herself to this politician. It's like, hey, look, we're the Freedom Force. I just love it that like the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants took the name Freedom Force.
Freedom Force. Well, what are they doing? Are they still like doing Brotherhood stuff, but just for the government?
It's not about keeping your freedoms safe. It's about taking your freedoms away.
Oh,
they are essentially because at this point, the big issue at the time in the X-Men comics, in terms of the mutants issue, was the Mutant Registration Act.
Oh, another Registration Act!
Well, you see, this was the first one. So the whole Civil War storyline was a ripoff. So they just ripped off the X-Men.
So the mutants had a Registration Act, and then
in a debate.
In a debate, and then the Civil War is like, okay, let's just make that, but for everyone with powers. You know, X-Men aren't exempt. Everyone has to register now. Nothing goes wrong with registration acts, right? Come on.
Yeah, but so that was the big thing, and so the Freedom Force, Mystique managed to get in good graces with the government to basically be the government-sponsored mutant team.
Okay. The government-sponsored mutant team.
Yeah, of course. And of course it's the government. They hired the worst people that would fit that description, not the X-Men.
What?
The ones who actually saved the senators. No, the team that tried to kill a senator.
And what, are they still gunning after the X-Men while all this is going on? It's like we hired you mutants. We hired you mutants to be our Freedom Force. What about the X-Men? No, we still want you to get rid of them. We hate them still.
Sort of. Because what they got into conflict in their introduction, when they were tasked to take down Magneto, and at this point, Magneto is in his good guy phase.
Okay.
The first time.
The first time.
Where they flipped.
It's the first time. Magneto.
Yes.
Magneto, are you here to stop us again? No, Charles. I'm here to fight on your side.
Well, Charles is currently up in space. Is either up in space or doing something else.
What's he doing
this
in
point?
Space?
Well, okay.
His alien girlfriend.
Well, yeah, that part, and also he did get infected by the Brood, and then his body they had to transfer his body into a clone body, and
oh yeah, you told me about the Brood. Okay.
Yeah. So shenanigans.
That's all happening.
Just insert comic book shenanigans. No, I think he's at Muir Island at this point.
Oh my gosh! What is it with X-Men and their islands? Why
Well,
is it?
Muir Island is actually the mutant research facility. So.
Oh, okay. But still, what is it with
anyway.
X-Men Ender Islands? You got what that you got that one island where like all the dinosaurs were. That's where the Dinobots were created in the Marvel Transformers comics. So, and then like you got the.
Okay, you could technically call it an island because it's in Antarctica and it's surrounded by ice. So.
Oh, it's in Antarctica. Okay.
Or like the Arctic. It's one of the big continents.
Okay, and they're like to this day still on that damn fucking island that they call like their own like nation with blackjacks and hookers and shit. It's like
but anyway, so what happened is that they arrested Magneto.
Okay.
That was like 99. The X-Men then had to go to Asgard because Loki
Asgard?
while this was going on in the New Mutants book, my favorite teen book, in their special edition number 1, it's not an annual, it's special edition.
Okay.
Loki was eyeing Storm, who was with the New Mutants, and at this point, Storm got depowered because Rogue screwed up.
Okay. All right then.
But essentially, it was a plot that Loki wanted to basically make his own female Thor, but with Storm. And he tasked the Enchantress to torture the X-Men, and she mistakes the New Mutants as the X-Men.
Okay.
So basically, the X-Men had to go on an adventure, a fun adventure of rescuing Storm and Loki. Wolverine nearly died. Nearly.
Okay.
If it weren't for Danielle Muse
just another day for. Just another day for Logan.
It's just another day for Logan.
Another day, and then. And then when that story ends, they have to now deal with the trial of Magneto. But so during the trial of Magneto, Xavier is now present, trying to be as part of like the defense team for Magneto. And their defense, I kid you not, is that because at one point Magneto got turned into a baby. Last crimes. All the crimes that he did. He already suffered a death because of all the crime.
Look, him becoming a baby was essentially the death penalty, so like you can't really punish him anymore.
Exactly.
Charles, I'm starting to see now why you guys ended up on a fucking island.
I just love it. I just love it when comic books do that, where it's like
all the stuff.
It's kind of crazy, but
all the stuff you're telling me.
That might actually work. That's the thing.
But at the same time, I don't know. All this stuff you're telling me just kind of tells me that, I don't think Charles is exactly like the most like smartest person in the room.
Oh, he's not the smartest person, but
has a whole school and all that. It's like good for you, Charles, but I don't know. You make me question you at times with all the stuff you're doing.
Well, he wasn't the one who presented. They actually had an actual lawyer doing it.
Oh, okay.
They had a lawyer character, so it was a lawyer.
Matt Murdock and/or She-Hulk come in. They're like, "You need a lawyer in Marvel? My time has come."
My time, Your Honor.
Funny enough,
my client can't be guilty because he was a baby. So clearly,
because
I have defeated you with facts and logic.
And so what's so funny is that because of the events at 200, it gets interrupted by two characters, random villains of the week who try to kill Magneto.
I actually have this issue in my dad's old collection, so it's Baron von Strucker's kids.
Huh. Okay.
Okay, yeah. It was, two basically rich kids with superpowers trying to kill Magneto. They get defeated, but during the process, Charles was revealed that he's horribly sick, and that's when Princess Elijah goes, "Okay, need to bring you up to space," and Xavier's like, "Okay, Magneto's in charge. Nothing will go wrong from this."
Scott's like, "What the fuck?"
Scott is like, "I am so glad I'm in retirement right now."
Oh yeah, he is in retirement. Storm's like, "What the fuck?"
Wait, why wouldn't he hand it over to Scott? Wasn't I don't know much about Scott in the comics, but like, wasn't he like pretty much like
he left because of Jean's death?
Okay, which death was this?
Then he found Madeline Pryor, and like he's at this point like.
Was this her first death?
Yes, the first one.
Okay.
So we're in good Scott. We're in that where it's like, oh, he has like a wife, and their kid is expecting.
Okay.
Yeah, during this time, so nothing will go bad. Nothing bad happens afterwards.
Nothing bad happens to the Summers. Oh no.
And so but what happens is because of the events of this comic, a few years later, there's a limited series. So
okay,
a 4-issue limited series called Avengers versus X-Men.
Oh, okay.
Where the plot line is the Avengers decide, okay, Magneto technically did a full trial. He was not given, he was not fully acquitted or guilty. There was some shenanigans, and he's still running around. So we need to bring him in.
He got off on some weird ass technicality about being a baby.
Yeah, and one of the team members is She-Hulk, and so yeah, they have like multiple issues of fighting, and then at the end of like the fighting, Magneto's like, okay, I'm gonna turn myself in to do the trial again.
Okay.
And then it kind of shows that Magneto is still that pragmatic, willing to do villainous thing, because what he did was that during the court, when he was going to be given his sentence, he excused himself to go to the bathroom, used his power of magnetism to bring out the helmet, put the helmet on, use the helmet apparently to do some mind-altering thing on the judge so that the judge will say, not guilty.
Fucking stupid.
Okay.
Because he's doing that because if he was found guilty, there was fall back on mutants' rights, something like that.
Okay, so he did something shady for supposedly the greater good.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
Look, it's a lot better than modern Marvels.
Comics are weird. I'm not gonna lie. Comic books are weird.
Changus. Comic books are soap operas for boys.
Yeah, but look, I'm not saying that as like an insult. I'm just saying, like, as a matter of fact, like when you really think about it and stuff, comics are weird because you get all this sorts of like shenanigans going on, and it's like, man, comic books are weird. I like the weirdness, I like the weirdness. It's a good weirdness. Most of the times, I don't know. Nowadays, it's I guess you could put it up to debate considering stuff and all that, but like usually it's weird, but it's like it's kind of a good weird. Oh hey Nick, Nijal just told me about a time Magneto got away by technically being a baby.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, I had to explain the storyline about the trial of Magneto, and then the Avengers versus X-Men, where the Avengers tried to bring Magneto in.
Yeah, that happened.
I'm just
your expression, Nick. It's like, yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying again. Comic books are weird. It's not a bad weird. Most of the time.
No. I'm not saying it's bad. I just think it's like, yeah, that happened. Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really know how to
Yeah.
talk about that feels like something comedy Megatron would do to get out of like jury duty, turn himself into a baby. All right.
Yeah,
All
Anna.
right. Shockwave, turn me back. I can't turn you back. What do you mean? You told me to turn you into a baby. You never said that you'd want to be turned back. I figured that'd be obvious.
Wouldn't Shockwave just ignore him and treat him like a baby? Like, where everyone can hear Megatron, but they assume he's...
Shut up, baby. Shut up, baby.
Okay. Well, can't you? No, I'm afraid you're just gonna have to age to it. But that's not fair. I'm being drunk.
I don't want to go to Wheeljack.
Oh, excuse me.
Also, I have a mini haul. Just 2 things.
Oh, okay. Let's. What you got? Give me one second. I'm just fixing everyone's like thing now since you're here. Does he come with weapons this time?
Yes, I made sure he came with this stuff this time.
Okay, he's got weapons this time.
And
alright. Oh, Metal Hawk.
Yeah, Metal Hawk.
Nice.
Alright. Remember when Metal Hawk was like the leading guy of like the neutral voters who put Starscream in power in the first place?
Yeah.
And it kind of literally bit him in the ass.
because Starscream killed him?
He killed Metal Hawk so he could get more political power. And then
and that was like also Starscream's like probably actually like the closest thing he had to a friend too.
I know. Well, this was before he started having Ghost Bumblebee as his friend. So again, like this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like what we just said here. Comic books are weird. It's not a bad weird, but it's just weird, you know? Like, what do you mean? It's like, what the fuck do you mean Bumblebee died and became a ghost and is Starscream's friend? Yeah, that happened. It's weird.
Starscream doesn't have any friends. That's the most unrealistic part about it.
Patrick knows what's up.
No, but you're right though, because like at the end of the day, Bumblebee just at the end of the day, like there was I remember was it their Till All or One series? That was like a follow-up to like Windblade, and then like they just straight up said Bumblebee's ghost just straight up says, "No, I'm kind of just tired of you, Starscream. Well, you're just kind of an asshole, Starscream. I'm gonna go now. Deuces." I have no friends. Fuck.
Fine. I never knew you anyway.
So, ooh, nice. Oh, X-Men models. Neato. Wait, who's that next to who's that on the near the left? Near what's that? Is that Mystique?
Mystique is the chick.
Okay, who's the guy next?
Sabretooth is the guy leaping off of the tall rock.
Oh, that's Sabretooth. Okay.
Yeah, and then Toad is the guy on the wall.
Ah, okay. And then there's my boy. Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
I'm the Juggernaut.
I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Hey, isn't it? So you wear that helmet so that way your brother can't reach your mind? Yeah, but he's in a wheelchair. So we're even Stevens.
I'm gonna put the red guy up the old guy.
I'm
gonna shove the red guy.
The old guy. I'm gonna shove him right up your ass.
You caught me, motherfucker.
Call me, motherfucker.
You can't stop this motherfucker. Holy shitballs! Holy shitballs! Was that? I forget.
You can't stop this motherfucker.
Was
He's the Juggernaut. You can't stop this. The fuck? Holy shit.
Was that song also Junkie XL? Who wrote that song? Oh no, wait, no, it wasn't Junkie XL who wrote the Deadpool soundtrack. It was what's his name? What was his name? The guy who, hold on, I'm looking this up real quick. Deadpool 2, soundtrack. Who wrote it? Tyler Bates. That's who it is. Who did also who also did the John Wick movies. So, yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was Junkie XL. I think Junkie XL was the first Deadpool movie? Let me hold on. Deadpool soundtrack.
I have not seen the Deadpool 2 movie from start to finish. But I love just going back from time to time to watch the Juggernaut Colossus scenes. So specifically.
Racist.
I did. I only seen it once. I really did enjoy the second Deadpool.
I liked
Did
it.
or didn't?
I did.
He did. I liked the second. Yes, I was right. Junkie XL did the soundtrack for the first Deadpool movie. So
Yeah, like
yeah.
And the second one is very similar to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, where it's definitely had a lot of heart in the story.
Yeah.
And a lot of emotional connections, because it's like Deadpool. It's a story about Deadpool actually trying to be a hero.
Yeah, I liked it.
And then, but it's not as iconic as the first one.
Well,
and hopefully the third one will actually complete the trilogy in a positive light.
I mean, they finally gave Hugh Jackman a yellow suit, so there you go.
It's not complete until they give him the mask. I'm gonna be. If he doesn't have the mask,
I'm gonna be honest.
I'm gonna be mad.
I'm gonna be honest, Meshnik. I don't think they're giving him the mask. I don't think.
I feel like if they give him it, it's probably gonna be like the third act.
I'm gonna nah. I don't think they're gonna give him the mask. I think at this point, Hugh Jackman's face is just too iconic and associated in like the general audiences with Wolverine instead of the mask. So they're just gonna have him unmasked most of the time. So that's what I think.
Most of the time, but you know, I feel again. I feel like it's like the third act. The finale kind of thing. He puts on the mask.
I mean,
it's gonna be white eyes.
I mean, like they did it with Deadpool, so like I don't understand why they can't do it with Wolverine. But no, I'm just gonna assume that just general audience just now associate Hugh Jackman's face with Wolverine, so they're just gonna have him like either unmasked entirely or just majorly unmasked. So
well, I will find it hilarious because the main villain is Cassandra Nova.
Yeah, the fucking twin of Charles who kicked the shit out of in the womb. Again, comic books are weird.
It's like Venture Brothers, where Charles where it goes to a scene when Charles just devouring Cassandra Nova.
I fucking like Jonas Jr.
But again, this is what I mean.
I would love it. Cassandra Nova needs to be a midget every time she shows up from now on. Just a bald dwarf. with a little floating device.
This is exactly what I mean. Comic books are weird. It's not a bad weird, but it's just it's just like a weirdness that's just absurd. Like you just can't help but like just describe it as it's just weird. Charles Xavier kicked the shit out of his twin in the womb.
To be fair, we're talking Grant Morrison. Grant Morrison is like just Mr.
Weirdness
Weird.
of the person.
Like he is the exemplar of weird shit.
Now the fact they haven't made him a live-action Lex Luthor yet is a crime. Dude fucking fits the description of. But yeah, but like again, like comic books are weird, man. So like, oh my gosh, it's not a bad weird, but it's just weird, you know, like you just can't help it. I actually is Junkie. Hold on, I gotta see. Is Junkie XL returning for Deadpool 3 though? Let me see. I'm gonna see real quick. Who's doing the soundtrack for Deadpool 3? Well, Deadpool and Wolverine. Who's doing the music? No! It's Rob Simonson. Who did the Atom Project and one season of Stranger Things. So
Okay.
yeah. So they're not bringing back Junkie XL. So you know, take that as you will. I know people don't really like Junkie XL. He's on Junkie XL. Honestly, he's not a bad musician. He himself has explained, like in a video I remember, he explained himself that like a lot of the soundtracks that he makes is just highly dependent on like, you know, what the director wants. It's like people like say like, you know, oh, like, you know, his music for like the Sonic the Hedgehog movies are just, you know, unforgettable. They don't use any of the game music and stuff, and he's himself explained that's just the director's choice. They told him not to do anything like, you know, mostly like the game music for the Sonic movies. I hope that fucking changes, you know, I swear.
What's the soundtrack to saying that Junkie didn't like Junkie's soundtrack is terrible?
Just people. Well, I don't think it's terrible. People just say a lot of times that they just think his soundtracks for movies are just kind of forgettable.
Bland.
Yeah, bland, kind of. That's just what they say. It's like it's like it's like how like it's kind of like how like after a while when you notice Hans Zimmer's music kind of sounds the same, at least until he worked on the Doom.
You can criticize Bear McCreary on that.
True, but then but Bear McCreary did give us the soundtrack for King of the Monsters, and that was pretty good. So,
his most famous one is God of War.
True, God of War, yeah.
The fourth God of War, but like he did the soundtrack, like he did a lot of soundtrack for movies that that you could say that his. But like I like Junkie because he made the best Spider-Man soundtrack in my opinion.
I like we've had this like discussion and all that all the time for like Amazing Spider-Man 2, like how many times now, but I can say for definitely Electro's theme is one of the best music choices in that movie. It is a genuine banger of a theme. I love it.
Oh yeah, it's a banger. Like here's the thing about like and it's not just that, like listen to his Spider-Man theme for Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's a
Oh yeah, the Amazing Spider-Man 2
it's
theme
like
is
dun,
also...
dun, dun,
yes.
dun, dun.
Yeah, I know.
Like Hans Zimmer is part of the soundtrack, so like composing it. So it's like you have to give him credit too.
True.
But like
oh no, yeah, like the music in those movies are genuine, and I like that's one thing I will never like disagree with you on with Amazing Spider-Man 2. The soundtrack is phenomenal. So
don't worry, we're gonna talk about Amazing Spider-Man 2 because it's 10 years. It's its 10th anniversary. It was like earlier this month.
Yeah. So, just like his mentor Hans Zimmer, Junkie XL talent is wasted because they want to play it safe. Not that's ultimately kind of what it is. Like these guys are generally good musicians.
Yeah, what are you doing in the chat?
He's away from home at the moment, so. Yeah, but no, Knott's got a point. Like it's like, these are generally good musicians. It's just a lot of times the reason why people criticize them is just mostly because the people they're working for hold them back.
Oh no, he was involved with Rebel Moon.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you can't look. You gotta make.
Hey, SGD.
Oh, SGD's here. Oh, I didn't know that.
Hello.
Look, man.
So, you guys see my X-Men models?
Yeah, we were just talking about that. So, yeah.
Iceman was so fun to paint. He looks so cool.
Yeah. Okay, was it like a dry
brush? I just really like the dynamism. What?
Did you just dry brush him? Dry brush it?
I did slap chop and I did
okay.
Tidal Wave with Speed Paint Medium, and I just did that.
All right.
Junkie did the Scoop soundtrack. He did a really good remaster of the original theme song.
Yeah, but no, yeah, like Junkie is generally a good musician. It's just, you know, again, like Hans Zimmer, like it's just the people they're working for. Usually they just kind of hold them back. So,
yeah, I'm looking at the through Spotify the film soundtracks that he worked on. Yeah, a lot of the times I could tell like there are films that they just wanted his name.
Yeah.
As the composer.
Yeah.
He did do the Wonder Woman theme for Batman v Superman. That's a kick-ass theme.
The Wonder Woman theme. The Wonder Woman theme is fine. That theme is now mostly associated with Hans Zimmer though, more than Junkie.
Yeah,
But it is look, the Wonder Woman theme though honestly has kind of become a meme at this point because like that's like the only music they ever play with Wonder Woman like every other movie. So
before the Snyder cut of Justice League,
I remember I never saw this in theaters, but like Shazam 2, like apparently there was a scene where I guess Billy fucking dies or something like that, and like they're at this funeral, all of a sudden like Wonder Woman shows up, and they fucking have her like theme playing, and it's like it's so like out of touch, like Wonder Woman, Billy just died. Why is your theme ramping up like that? It's like Billy died. Oh yeah,
leitmotif. Composers, did you just like copy and paste the song?
Diana, this is not the time.
No, yeah. But
this is why we won't let you have a third movie.
Nah, but no, but like again, like Junkie, he can make Tom. I can't. I don't know what his last name. Junkie. He's a genuinely good musician. Now, like what example of a good music he's done for movies? Mad Max. Fury Road, which I guess is also somewhat of a segue into our actual first topic of the night after like almost an hour of like just talking. But Junkie XL, he did the soundtrack to Mad Max Fury Road, and that's also a really good soundtrack for Mad Max Fury Road.
Like that soundtrack had to do a lot of the work in Fury Road in terms of the audio department.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
because that film is like the epitome of visual storytelling over dialogue.
Yeah, George Miller, or like I watched this video earlier today. He did he was doing like an interview with I think like Vanity Fair or something, and he just specifically said that his like style of filmmaking, he very much believes in the idea of like emphasizing like the medium you're working with. So like film is a visual medium, so he firmly believes in a lot, visual storytelling. So like a lot of the story you're seeing is mostly visual. So Junkie had to also like again like he had to carry a lot with like the audio department and along with the music and stuff. And so Junkie also did return for this movie, Furiosa. Now Furiosa, I'm just saying this right now, does reuse a lot of Junkie's music from Mad Max Fury Road. And on one hand, a bit of a shame, I wish, maybe a little more original soundtrack, but at the same time, it's understandable, right? This is literally just like a prequel / spin-off to Fury Road with like the exact same characters in pretty much the same setting. So it makes sense that they would just use the same music that was in Mad Max Fury Road for Furiosa. So yeah, the thumbnail's very orange, Chelsea. It is very orange. It's the desert, Chelsea. you're in the desert. That's just a color associated with like the desert, like sand, the dunes, and all that.
Look, this is the aftermath of Project Wingman, people. We see orange everywhere.
I got an idea. I got a really nice idea.
Okay.
Mad Max special.
Oh, for like a podcast? Okay.
Yes, Mad Max special. But the background is the fucking desert.
Oh, okay, sure.
And we're all like wearing like wasteland gear. like it's our avatars, but like if we're in the fucking wastelands.
Look, if I was in the wasteland, I would be wearing the Miles Morales Colgate outfit.
No. Oh my goodness. No, but
I want to think.
Xenomorton Joe.
Xenomorton Joe. Do not get
I would like to think on the other side of the world. I would like to think that on the other side of the planet, Waterworld is happening.
Waterworld's happening at the same time. That'd be amazing. But I was just saying though, like Junkie reuses a lot of his like leitmotifs, music and stuff from Furiosa, from Fury Road here in Furiosa, because I explained the reasons. So, and again, on one hand, little disappointed, but on the other hand, not disappointed because it's logical. It makes sense that he would have like the same or similar music. But Furiosa though, honestly. This movie has segmented that. Oh, I guess if you wanted to.
Hey, we got Nut here. We got the whole crew.
Oh, Nut's here. Oh, wait, hold on. Everyone's covering each other up. Okay, hold on.
Do we do one of the big brain tonight?
That's.
If Bundes is up for, I'll do it.
All right. I mean, all right, we could do that. We could do the big brain. Okay, give me 1 second.
It's quite an important.
No, I get it. You've been wanting to talk about this for a while. I just didn't know if you want to do it tonight, considering like it was only like initial like 4 topics. So like,
Okay. I mean, I put it in. I gave you the ideas. Like, whenever we have like a kind of like a shorter night, we just put this in to have it in there. Like this would be a shorter night, I'd say. Usually we don't have 4 topics.
Like if you want to talk about it, then yeah, sure, go ahead. I'm down for it.
Yep.
All right, hold on real quick. I gotta fix everyone's like thing now. But I guess let me. So.
And Jado, do you want to be here for that talk or?
Don't worry. I have my weekends now.
All right.
Yeah, but I know you got church, so you might.
Churches will be at
I don't
night.
know if you're waking up early.
I'll be waking up.
All right.
Look, at this point, my body's so destroyed is that I had. Unless I go to sleep at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'll probably be getting to church.
All right. But
yo. Get one, pour one out for fucked up sleep schedules.
Woo! Let's go! Yeah. But what was I saying? Oh, go ahead. Not? Were you saying something?
No.
No? Okay. All right then.
Okay, so here's the important. 2 questions I want to ask, so you can start off.
Okay.
Is it a good movie?
Yes. It is.
Is it better? How is it compared to Fury Road?
Right. That seems like the most obvious thing we're gonna compare things to. I don't know. That's just something I kind of still thinking about. They're kind of going for. Oh, what was that?
It's a different beast than Fury Road.
Yeah.
But that's for the better.
Yeah. They're definitely 2 different kind of. They're definitely going for 2 different things. Furiosa at the end of the day is very much a revenge story. Fury Road, the best way I could describe it is one giant chase. but that's. Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, like it is a Fury Road. Fury Road is best described as a cinematic symphony.
Yeah.
It is a singular car chase, which are meant to set up a lot of action. Like that's why I can get away with so little plot.
Yeah.
Furiosa itself is, the whole, it has a lot of plot.
Yeah. So it's hard to really describe in general, like, if this is better than Fury Road or not, considering they're kind of two different things. I'm going to say maybe just on like an enjoyability factor alone, I might just say Fury Road would be better as just an enjoyable experience. But don't get me wrong, Furiosa is still a really fun movie. It's still really fun. Yeah. So, but like but as I said, Furiosa is a revenge story. This is all about the story Furiosa, like, very briefly, like told Max about in Fury Road. This is following that story, how she was captured as a child by a bunch of like raiders and stuff, and brought into the services of Immortan Joe. So yeah, I believe, I could be wrong. I think Immortan Joe here is played by a different person. He sounded different than whoever played him in Fury Road.
Hugh Brian's Pine, the man who played him in Fury Road, who was also the first antagonist of the first Mad Max movie. He passed away in 2020.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Damn! I didn't know that. Okay. I just noticed, like, he sounded different than Immortan Joe did in Fury Road. So I just assumed, like, it's a different guy, but I didn't know he was recast because of that reason. So, man, that's a shame though. Damn. Okay. But still, the new guy is Immortan Joe. He's doing a great job. Anya Taylor-Joy is also a really good Furiosa. She does a pretty good job as Furiosa. I feel like, and I think maybe it was on purpose. I feel like Charlize Theron and Anya Taylor-Joy kind of sort of have a different, like, how do I describe this? Like, I don't know, maybe energy or something into how they approach Furiosa. And I would assume it's on purpose, like the idea of like Anya Taylor-Joy is playing a much younger Furiosa, while Charlize Theron is playing a much more older, grittier, angrier Furiosa. So there is that. But Anya Taylor-Joy is still really good as Furiosa. She's great. Funny enough, I found, Nick, you're gonna love this. I found out that so they do show Furiosa as a child, and the child actress who's playing on Furiosa is she's gonna be shot as a little. She's gonna be the blonde little girl that's gonna get shot later this year in Sonic 3. So
wait, she's playing Maria?
Yeah, the little girl who played Furiosa here is gonna be playing Maria Robotnik in Sonic 3. So yeah, she's
oh no.
So yeah, she's
ready for some child murder.
Yeah, so she's gonna be shot later on this year when Sonic 3 comes around. So so yeah, the stand-up performance though, I would have to say honestly really that I was actually at first a little bit worried about, but honestly I'm very much pleased by is Chris Hemsworth as the warlord Dementus. And Chris Hemsworth, he is having the time of his life. It's great. Again, it's so fascinating to me how like you see all these actors who are like in the MCU, and they're just able to really put all of their like their actual like effort into all these roles that aren't just they're Marvel characters. I don't think Robert Downey Jr. is ever gonna come back as Iron Man unless Disney pays him a lot of money. They're gonna have to pay Tony. They're gonna have to pay him a lot of money to come back as Tony Stark, because like what if
It's gonna be as rich as Tony Stark by the time Disney gets through.
I know exactly. Like the dude was in an Oscar-winning movie. Like I don't think he's coming back to Marvel anytime soon. And so Chris Hemsworth, like when he's not playing Thor here, like he's actually like he's thriving. He's really doing a good job playing like this maniacal like kind of an idiot, but like that's kind of the point. Like throughout the movie, like Immortan Joe and everyone like always calls him like he's kind of a jackass, but like at the same time though, he's not really. Because, like, there's also times where Chris Hemsworth's character, Dementus, has shown he's actually very clever with what he does. So, like, a lot of times, so, like, I don't want to spoil, but, like, towards, like, the third act of, like, the movie, like, when Immortan Joe finally decides, all right, I'm gonna team up with I'm gonna team up with Furiosa to take down Dementus. Like, you can see how, like, there's actually a moment where, like, they're kind of playing this sort of, like, mind game sort of thing, like Immortan Joe, Dementus is he's doing this shit, and Immortan Joe's going like no, that's a distraction. He's trying to bait us. So you know what? Well, we'll pretend to take his bait, but then we'll really we'll handle him here. So like and then like how there's also another scene in the movie where one of Dementus' plan is literally a whole like Trojan horse sort of deal he came up with, and like how like and then like the people and then so like one of his like followers like Dementus, the Trojan horse plan isn't working, and they're not falling for it, and so Dementus is like, fine, we're gonna have to make this real. Kill our guys on the Trojan horse. What? Do it. They'll make it believable. And so like Dementus' whole character really is like this like guy who's like he knows like this world is kind of like shit, it's gone to trash, so he's just trying to like make the best of it in his own like kind of fucked up way.
Like in typical biker fashion, because he's gonna burn out. Like he's going to leave this world. He's gonna leave this world with rock and roll. Like because just from the teddy bear he carries and all that stuff, you imagine, yeah, he's lost a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
So, like,
yeah.
He's just on a war path until someone finally puts him.
Yeah. So, but yeah, everyone's great here. What else is there? I guess I can also talk about like I don't really want to talk about the story, and the story itself is simple enough. Like you understand right away that it's a revenge story. Dementus, he did some fucked up shit to Furiosa, and that's causing her to seek out revenge along. That's how she teams with Immortan Joe to take down Chris Hemsworth. Like, it's a simple revenge story, you understand that. There's more to it, obviously. There was this one character, Praetorian Jack. He's cool. He ends up forming this, like, very interesting kind of, like... It's not explicit, but you pretty much you can tell, like it's like sort of this like romance going on with Furiosa. My favorite thing of all time, though, however, is earlier today I saw Hideo Kojima tweet about Furiosa. Like he's like, I watched Furiosa, and you know, he clearly thought it was a good movie because he wrote a whole paragraph on Twitter. So he obviously thought it was a good movie. But my favorite part of the whole I love of Kojima takes because he like says like some of like the stuff that you wouldn't really like find like typical like Twitter reviews. My favorite part about the whole was how he said his like main takeaway from watching Furiosa is, you know, that guy who played Praetorian Jack in Mad Max, he could be a good live action Snake. It's like that's his takeaway. It's like man, I should get that guy to play Solid Snake. Damn, he's good. So yeah. So I love
Oscar Isaac, get the fuck out of my building. Victorian Jack.
Yeah. So yeah, I love Kojima takes like that. It's great. Let's see. I guess I could also talk about just oh yeah, also I do want to also mention this before I get into like visuals and stuff. The movie itself is like, well, it's like 2.5 hours long, but honestly it's another case of like, you know, it's like one of the best 2.5 hours you're gonna ever have. Like it doesn't, like, this movie does not waste, at least in my opinion, does not waste any second that it shows on screen. Every second something is happening that like is like important or like pushing the story forward, and like it makes you really invested. So like there are times where honestly like I'm like, man, I like, okay, like when it gets like a quiet moment, I guess I'm gonna go take a whiz, right? So like there was this one scene where like I don't want to spoil too much, but like there was like a you know like the sandstorm that was in Fury Road. There was a similar scene like that, and then at the end of it, Chris Hemsworth's character, he comes out like, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just survived a sandstorm. Holy shit. Where the fuck is everyone? Okay. I'm just gonna have to survive. And it's like, okay, this is a quiet moment. This is like a, you know, kind of like a quiet moment, right? Alright, I'm gonna take this moment to, you know, like go use the restroom really quick, and then I'll come back, you know, and back to the movie. And then it's like, I'm getting out of my seat in the theater, and I'm walking down the stairs, and then like, as soon as I'm like about ready to leave the theater room, all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, it's Furiosa! And it's like, what? It's like, oh no, I have to go back now in my seat because I'm too invested in the story. I don't want to miss this out. And it was actually a good thing I did because this scene does happen like towards near the end of the movie. So like I was able to catch like the last like few minutes, like, well, not the last few minutes, but you know, like the last like several important scenes of the movie. So like, oh, it's a good thing I didn't actually go use the restroom here. I was gonna miss out. Oh my goodness. So but yeah, like that's like this movie, like, does not let down. Like there's always something happening, and the action scenes also are great. There's a, you know, one of the things about Mad Max, like especially after Fury Road, it's like, you know, there's a lot of car chases going on, and so, you know, and they do a really good job. There's this one long car chase that happened like in the middle of the movie with Praetorian Jack's character, and it's great. Like the building, like the build up to it, like the tension rising. And this is also where the soundtrack comes in. Junkie XL is really doing a good job. Like you hear like the drums, like he uses like drums to, like, you know, slowly build up like the tempo to help build tension, you know, and then you see, and then the crescendo, you know, the rising volume of the music swelling as things get more and more tense. It's great, and it was such a fun experience. Now visual, and I guess I can also speak to visually. Visually is speaking, this movie is pretty good. I will say, there are times you notice in this movie where you do notice that that's clearly, you know, like CGI. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but like, so like Fury Road was really good because Fury Road had a really good blend of practical and CG effects and computer generated effects going on at the same time. So like so there are moments in Fury Road like, oh wow, that was all computer generated. Whoa, I didn't know that. That's so cool. Here there are moments where you do notice like it doesn't really blend in as well, and I don't know. It's just something
I'll be back.
Oh, okay.
All right.
It's just something I do want to point out. I don't really blame the movie though, considering that the VFX industry itself is kind of fucking eating itself alive at the moment. So
I want to point out, so there's a lot of there are several spots where, like Fury Road, they're showing the Citadel, and like the Citadel is obviously computer generated,
right?
It's like they're gonna build it, a city in the face of a mountain in real life. That'd be cool, but they can't. So like Fury Road masked it with how much there are just like close-ups between the people on the ground and with Joe. And when it pulls back, when it does like the establishment shots, that's where you can have the extras on the ground and all that stuff. You don't have to have like as much perspective on it on the ground.
Right.
There's a particular scene in this movie that like in general, George Miller knows how to hide a lot of like the wonkiness with the background by just having a lot of close-ups. Like it's amazing in this movie the year of our Lord 2024. I see a ratchet zoom again. Like there's a old style filmmaking right here. Yeah, I love to see it. But like George hides it well, but then there is a particular scene in the Citadel. You might know it, kind of, where the biker horde like first arrives at the Citadel, and like Joe and the people eater just start like talking about like, oh yeah, like pick out your opponent. Pick out the opponent among the war boys. And all that stuff.
Yeah.
When the Octoboss, when he's looking at all the war boys, and he's trying to pick one from the crowd. Like it looked like he was staring at a screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was the one moment that I'm like, that's a bit weird. That's a bit wonky.
Yeah. No, I did not pee myself, Chelsea. I just had to hold it in, and I was glad I hold it in. I didn't pee myself though, Chelsea. I'm not a child. But yeah, so like again, there are moments where like you're gonna notice some like wonky VFX stuff, but like at the same time, I really don't blame much of because like again, like the VFX industry at the moment is just kind of not that great. A lot of overworking going on, a lot of companies going on. I know you were about to release this movie like in a couple of weeks, but I need you guys to work overtime and do one last thing. Okay, what is it? I need you to redo this entire scene. Oh. Thank you, Disney! Yeah! I love Marvel VFX. Ah! So yeah, I've kind of gone to the point where like I can notice like not really necessarily bad VFX, but like okay, the visual effects here isn't it's a little wonky, but at the same time like I'm kind of coming from the person of like, but like at the same time these guys are probably like they're probably being overworked and shit. So like like a lot of the, like the people working on the VFX, like they're working on like multiple movies at once. So like while like let's say it's someone's like doing like let's say like ILM, like they're doing Transformers and stuff, but then at the same time, I don't know, Disney comes in and tells them, hey guys, I know you're working on Transformers, but can you just do something real quick for me? Oh, what's that? I need you to redo this one entire scene in our new latest Star Wars thing. Okay. So the VFX industry is honestly not that great at the moment. And, so I honestly can't really be mad when I see, like, not bad visual effects being like, stuff that like makes you go, okay, that's a little, wonky. So, but overall though, I just want to say, like, this Furiosa is just a very fun movie. It's a fun time, and I guess if you want to have a good movie, just set it in the desert. I don't know. The best movies I've seen this year both just take place in the desert, with sand everywhere. So I guess maybe that's the key. Was the need truly Delisha like Gaib this whole time? Did he foresee things? Oh my gosh, we just have to set our movies in the desert. Oh, genius. So who knows? I don't know. I just find it funny that my favorite movies this year both took place in the desert. I don't know. You see that's what would fix Civil War. If fucking what's his name? I forgot the director's name. Garland or something. That guy. The guy who made Ex Machina. If you just set Civil War and if you just turn America into like a desert apocalyptic wasteland, then that will make the movie better.
Alex Garland.
Thank you. Why the fuck was it called Civil War? I shouldn't be asking that question about a movie called Civil War. Why the fuck was it called Civil War? Whatever. I don't know. I might maybe talk about Civil War next week. I don't know. It's not a good movie. So yeah, but Furiosa, good movie. That's some good media right there. So I guess then I would assume, speaking of good media, Ninjato, what is Hellblade 2 good?
Okay, Hellblade 2 is by Ninja Theory. And it was, I would say, in full production in 2021, because there's this multiplayer game called Bleeding Edge they made, released in 2020, ended at 2021, so...
Okay.
And this is the first game that Ninja Theory made after being bought by Microsoft.
Oh.
And
that's
and so people were expecting a killer app, and a couple of streams ago, you saw my reaction to the reviews.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm not gonna lie though.
So
when you said Ninja Theory was bought out by Microsoft, my mind immediately went to, oh, that's
I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking, yeah, no, this is good or bad. This means something.
Yeah. So in terms of gameplay and why people were mad at this, they $50, and they say about 5 hours of gameplay, like 6 hours of gameplay. If you did all the content, like if you rush it, it'll be about the same length as the first game.
Okay.
Which is about 5 hours. So the first game costs 30, this costs 50.
Okay.
So you're basically paying $10 an hour. So essentially, you're paying minimum wage, like 5 hours of your minimum wage work, to make up the cost. So
when did Hellblade 2 come out? I mean, Hellblade 1 come out again?
2017.
2017. Okay, you know what? Let me see this here. I'm gonna run.
Yeah.
I'm gonna run a little quick inflation calculator. So, if in 2017 and I purchased an item for $30, how much would it cost now? We're looking at $38.37. So nowadays, Hellblade
30,
it would probably be costing 40.
Yeah, so like Hellblade 1 nowadays would probably be around $40. So you're really just paying $10 extra, which isn't a huge leap. So
there's a lot of things to say about it. The stuff that I'm gonna generally ignore in my review that a lot of people bring up.
Okay.
That the accusation of the game of being a walking simulator. It's the same, like in terms of gameplay in general. What do you expect it? It's the same as the first game. So a lot of walking, a lot of observation, not a focus on gameplay or combat.
All right.
It's more about you're paying for the experience of the story with some gameplay, where the gameplay is helping serve the story as opposed to the opposite.
All right.
So if you're a gamer who really wants to focus on gameplay, you want to play a game, game. This is not a game. This is regular game. This is like the extreme front end of the whole. You're playing a movie.
Okay.
It's not David Cage levels where it's all quick time events. There's actually a lot of interaction in there, but in terms of depth, not that much.
All right.
So what goes on in this plot? So I mentioned last time that there could have hint at Senua going after her dad. That did not happen. In fact, she ends up purposely allowing herself to get captured by the Northmen to be taken to where they were. And in the ship she was boarded on, crash landed into the land they were going to. Iceland.
The green place.
Yes, so green that.
Well, I mean, climate was warmer back then.
Yeah.
So
No, but it's still funny. It's just.
Well, here's the thing, Matchstick. They kind of cover this. So, what turns out to be discovered, even halfway through, you get the whole big overarching plot. But essentially, the Northmen are. Their interpretation is that, I kid you not, the Northmen are trying to grab slaves to be sacrifices.
Okay.
Because the land in Iceland is complete crap. Because you find out a volcano happened.
Yeah.
One of the volcanoes erupt and it caused all the ash to wreck everything.
Yeah, Iceland's
like blotting out the sun. So remember when I talked about Thimblewinter?
Yeah.
Think of that situation, like a post.
Okay. No,
So,
but yeah,
like,
Iceland's a very like volcanic place. They got like the
right.
I remember I noticed because of Transformers: The Last Night of all movies, like a lot there's a lot of like volcanic like soil over there, like they're famous like black dirt.
So like at the end of the first section of the game, she ends up capturing her captor, which at the game was called Slaver, and basically made him her slave, her slave guide.
Okay.
And it's basically her dragging him to all throughout Iceland to solve the core problem of giants.
Giants?
Yeah.
Oh.
Turns out there's giants across the island, and it's causing all sorts of problems. I'm not gonna tell you the ending, but kind of wrap everything together.
Okay.
Just for the sake of to have a little bit of a surprise. I do want you to play this game, but the main thing about Senua Saga is that it's the case of it's a good game, but not as good as the first game. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
So like when I say a 7 out of 10 or like a 3 out of 5, it's like it's a good game worth playing, but you have to go into it knowing all of its flaws. So I'm gonna start out with the positives. The graphics are worth next gen title.
Okay.
Like I was immersed by the graphics of seeing the detail in the environments and the beauty of the of it all.
What about art?
Like I remember back in the day with Tomb Raider, the first reboot Tomb Raider game, they kind of hyped up that we made a new engine so that you get realistic hair physics.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, like Senua's hair and the animation is like amazing.
What about art direction?
And art direction's also great. Also great. It's like, yeah, it's not as colorful as as it would have been back then. But it's actually purposely made to be more to serve like as the dark tone of the Hellblade series. And also a lot of attention to historical details, from putting burial mounds in front of the gates of settlements. All
right.
Where Vikings would put their deads because one of their beliefs is that the dead would actually protect them at night.
Okay.
From evil spirits. To even having a character showing up becoming like they did the female leader trope.
Okay.
Like Royer, but they explain it in a way that is like, if you know your Viking like your basic Viking history, you go, well, not basic. Like if you know about their culture, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. And then like it's all performed well, excellent performances, and it does a good job of deep diving a little bit of Senua's character afterwards, kind of exploring what the events of the first game affects her in the second game, and what's kind of her arc about dealing with the darkness in people, like herself in relationship with other people. That being said, the story is weak. It was very much weaker than the first game.
Okay.
Because the first game is essentially a character study about her going through the grieving process, essentially.
Right.
Like, and also not only dealing with her personal demons of like accepting the voices in her heads, but also the grief of losing a loved one and just dealing with all the trauma she experienced up to that point. And this one, they tried to explore her in relationship with other people, but unfortunately, I didn't think the story kind of explored that element a lot.
Okay.
Because there are points in the game that kind of feels like we still want to have that Hellblade 1 experience, but there's this huge segment when you're in the cave where it's like, okay, we're supposed to find the hidden folk. So we did the 3 trials. Okay, we can get our reward. Wait, more trials? Really? It was getting ridiculous. I was getting annoyed by that point. Like at some point, by the time I got done with it, I was like, I'm finally done with this segment.
Oh, okay.
And then it doesn't help that the companions you end up going with does not get a lot of development. Because of like they don't get a lot of screen time to develop not only with each other a lot or with Senua. Like they do interact with her and each other in the story, but it's like not enough to give you like a deeper characterization to fully explore them in this journey. And it's like, it's also the case where you could easily have done it. Like you could easily added like a couple more giants, like a couple more towns they have to go through before going into the final town to explore the arcs of the characters. And like but they didn't do that. They kind of stuck with 3. Much like the first game. They just go 3, and then we just have like this long trail over to do final boss. And then there's not even in terms of gameplay, 2 of the giants are slain basically with cutscenes and challenges, more traversal challenges, as opposed to an actual boss fight. Then you actually have the final boss fight. And then the biggest weakness of the game, the combat system. I am so mixed on how they changed up the combat from the first game. So like the first game, so the first game is not like the deepest of combat system. It's not like a Devil May Cry style. But you got a lot of cool defensive options that can become offensive. Like you can dodge and then do an attack action. So you could dodge and do a swipe at an enemy. And like the parry is more of like a additional skill that you can learn to basically show up yourself. Like, you know, it's one of those things is like, oh, like getting that perfect combo type thing. Like perfect parry to do massive damage. And like the dashing makes sense and like dodging. With Hellblade 2, they decided to try to make it realistic.
Realistic combat.
So instead of giving you good offensive tools and you having to deal with multiple enemies, like as your main source of challenge, it's a series of one-on-one fights. Even if you're dealing with a huge group of enemies, you're all gonna do one-on-one, like you're the Shredder. Shredder beating up the turtles one by one.
The Shredder.
And it wouldn't be bad if it gives you kind of like a power fantasy feel to it, or some sort of, or like a combat system that makes sense, it feels fair, and you feels like after a while you get used to it. No. This game really loves forcing you to parry everything. Try to parry everything. If you hold the block button, enemies, a lot of the basic attacks, not even like an advanced animation. The basic is a 2 to 3 hit combo that would end up, if you're holding the block button, stun and not be able to attack, enough time for them to attack you again. So you're basically telling you that you have to parry one of them to insta-kill enemies, essentially. And it's like, okay, how about when you dodge? Dodge is short distance, and you can't necessarily have like a way to attack when you're dodging. And then it gets ridiculous with the whole focus mechanic. So the focus in the first game, it basically allows you to freeze enemies temporarily to do a combo to take them out quickly.
Like a stun.
Yeah, like kind of like a stun. Think of that. So in the first game, you can store up to 3, and you gain it by doing attacks and doing perfect parries. Not in Hellblade 2, the only way to boost up your focus reliably, and it's slow, is by perfect parrying. And it makes some encounters, some enemies, annoying to deal with.
Wait, so can you only stun enemies with a parry then? Is that what you're saying?
Like, so here's the dichotomy. When you do a perfect parry, your next button is pretty much an instant KO. Instant kill.
Right. Like they're stunned. Or like you parry them. They're like, oh, what just happened? And then
No, as an instant kill. Like normally, when you like use the focus or any other way of combat, if you manage to hit him, you have to do like a full combo.
Right, that would make sense.
But when you do a perfect parry, you can instant kill them most of the time.
Okay. So, is that all you can do in this game?
Yeah, it's very limited compared to the first game.
So,
they did up the enemy variety.
Wait, so is it only perfect parries that can, like, is there no...
Reliably, for being reliable offensive tool, like, the game is basically trying to have you is, like, you have to block, you have to learn how to block and dodge.
Okay.
And then find your opening, but the thing is like, your attacks, no matter what, is not, like, fast enough.
So the game punishes you for not doing perfect parries?
Yeah, essentially. You get punished a lot.
Oh, that's no...
And then it gets even weirder. Okay, so there's those segments where you fight a whole bunch of enemies in multiple segments. And they get like some challenges throw like a lot of different enemy varieties. There's a good amount compared to the first game. But if you die, and you will die, it felt like you got sent back to the beginning, but then they reduced the number of enemies you have to deal with.
Okay.
And then they give you the weaker enemies. And there is no difficulty setting in this game. It feels like the developer, like Ninja Theory, just wanted to have like this safety net of making sure you will always push forward to the story.
Okay.
Like, essentially the gameplay was not the focus, but they put so much effort into trying to make it look like realistic and cool.
Okay.
Cool looking. And the animations are great. But in terms of playability, it's way too far. Like, if they didn't touch the combat system, if they just simply import the combat system from the first game to the sequel, and then add the new enemies in, and make it it would make a more fulfilling gameplay loop. And then there's also some missed opportunities where there's a couple of sections that you get a feeling like, oh, this would be great to have a stealth section. And have a crouch button.
Okay. No?
They didn't include a crouch button for a stealth section. Even though later, during like the first giant fight, you have to come across, do like the whole, you have to wait for an attack to go, like a obstacle to come through, and then you walk to the other side. Those type of platform challenges.
Okay.
And she's crouching in terms of her animation, so they could have implement a crouching system.
Okay.
But they didn't.
So they're not emphasizing stealth then?
There's no stealth elements. It just feels like there's so many missed opportunities.
Okay.
They could have to expand the gameplay. That still in line to what they're trying to do with the story. But make it more like robust on the gameplay side. Like, it feels like at some parts they just wanted to rip out for the sake of cinematic, which is like, that's Ninja Theory's thing. Ninja Theory is the developer in terms of action games to be more about story and cinematic as opposed to gameplay.
Okay.
But this is like probably the most extreme they have done to rip out gameplay elements. Two.
Let me ask you this. So I guess this is a kind of a two-part. So was there anything? So real quick. So let's go back to the first Hellblade game for a bit. Was there anything about the combat there that you would say they could have improved here in the second game?
Yeah, they could have added more enemies to it. They could have add a bit more variety. There was, and heck, even like if they added like giving Senua more access to different weapons. And like different options to how they attack, how she attacks and stuff would add variety.
Okay.
To it, because like it makes it's actually hilarious in the first level. There are times where the game starts, you don't have a sword, and then you come across like an axe on the floor at one point, and I was like, pick up the axe. Why aren't you picking up the axe? I get it that you're known for the sword.
So, I guess now my question would be, was there any of that was ever like
no
thought of, or no? They just completely skipped over that?
No, they kind of focus. Yeah, they kind of they changed the combat to be more realistic. With part of me thinks is that like they were kind of going for it was like, okay, Hellblade 1 in the combat system, we're kind of trying to import our combat systems from our previous work.
Okay.
To try to, and then like they use the story. Oh yeah, she was just fighting phantoms in her mind in the first Hellblade game. This is the real world, and then we have to incorporate an element where she is weaker than the men that she's fighting. By the way, the Vikings. In the first level, I made the joke they look like Quan Chi's minions.
Okay.
Because they have like the sleeveless like either leather or like very thick gambeson looking outfits, some of them, and they're bald and they're very pale.
All right.
Some of them with beards.
Okay.
It's but yeah, it's really a lot of the attention was clearly focused on the visual aspects and like the cinematic feeling experience to the game in the story front. And like I wouldn't be so upset with the gameplay.
Oh, welcome back.
If the story was like fantastic, knock it out and apart. And I'm sorry, like it's not as good. Like it felt like they focused most of their development time with their new technology, tried to make a new technology to make the graphics good looking, like being worthy of next gen, and then what to make a cool set piece moment, but without considering why not we make this set piece moment into a gameplay section, like the second giant fight. You're running with a bunch of people with a giant chasing after you. To get out of this cave to basically lure him away. Okay. And there's moments where you come across the spears and they have a cutscene where Senua picks up the spears and throw it, a fire spear. Why not make that like a gameplay section where you pick it up and then you kind of move the crosshair to find specific points to throw it, and you're kind of pressured under time.
Or maybe like maybe a quick time event.
Yeah, or like something to feel interactive in the game. It's like it doesn't. There's stuff that it's like you could say is like the first game has some more problems, and I agree, but the first game had a fantastic story. And like the combat system was like deep enough to emphasize it and enough to give you like a power fantasy element. This game feels like they kind of took away the combat elements, like the gameplay elements, to make it more awesome. And instead, but then they didn't give me anything in return other than like really impressive graphics. Like this is like one of those games back in the launch of like this is like not, and like Matt, not you, everyone on the panel knows about that time with the Xbox 360 and PS3 where they release games out that were beautiful to look at in a visual spectacle of how they can push the hardware, but then the story was boring and the gameplay was not that, was like generic. I'm thinking like The Order 1886
Yeah, dude.
for the PS4.
Ordered 1866.
The Order 1886. Changus, imagine a story where it's Victorian London with steampunk, and there's also werewolves, and somehow that's not fun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
And it's short, and it's shorter than this game. Like, I beat this game in 8 hours, but I did, like, I purposely looked for the side content. I was basically playing with the developer's intent, where you're kind of observing the world and exploring and being immersed in the world. And yes, this game is immersive. Like, this is one of those games when you're not playing it, you can find a whole lot of flaws with that game, but when you're playing it, you're immersed in it. Until you get to the fights and you get annoyed by the combat.
Okay.
Like, I am not. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10, but it's definitely like a serious need to improve it. And I would say this.
Okay.
I was not expecting the game to be better than the first game, be as good or better than the first game. So this game meets my expectations.
Okay.
It's just how it met my expectations that I'm a little bit frustrated with.
Okay. I guess then I feel like I do gotta ask then, like, because like you've said, like, all these criticisms and stuff, would you still think this is worth $50?
Again, my main thing is, what do you want? What is your classification of worth $50? Are you basically playing through a movie, a 5-hour movie, a game that is focused on the experience of 50 hours? I would say I was satisfied with my $50 purchase, but there are people who want gameplay, lots of gameplay.
I guess I would also I guess I would probably like more gameplay, but I guess also, like, the price should also be considered, you know, the quality of stuff, like, not just the quality of, like, the story, but also, like, you know, everything, the gameplay included. And you said the gameplay has some, you know, wonkiness, some problems and all that. So
yeah.
In my mind, I'm thinking, would that wonkiness then make you want to, you know, think the price should be lower than $50? Because, like, $50 at the end of the day is still, you know, a good sum of money, and you're paying $50 for a game you said you considered not as good as, well, like, as maybe as good, but, you know, not better or great than, you know, the first Hellblade. So
I would say $50 is too far. The price I would say it's worth is $40.
40?
So if Hellblade 1 came out today,
yeah,
I would
also
say
be
it's
like
about
$40.
Yeah.
Okay.
But would I necessarily recommend? I would recommend this game to people who love Ninja Theory. So like me, I'm a sucker for Ninja Theory.
Okay.
Who like the first Hellblade, of course. And those are like the two primary, because I would not recommend this outside of playing the first Hellblade.
Okay.
Even though it does come up with have a recap at the beginning of this game, you would hurt your experience with the first Hellblade by playing this. I feel like a lot of the experience of this game will be lost. Will be less enjoying without playing the first game.
Okay.
Like, it's a game that is not unique enough to be stand on its own. And it doesn't. Yeah, it's like, I still think you should play the first game. I think, like, the first game is like a masterpiece. It's like a 9 out of 10.
Okay.
And this game is a 7 out of 10. It's like, it does a lot of good things well, but it has major issues.
Okay. All right. Ooh, 70 gigabyte storage. Ooh, that's
Yeah,
that's a
70
good,
gigabytes.
that's good hefty storage space. Not you know those 100 gigabytes like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
but still 70.
yeah,
That's
and
not a
like
small
most
number.
of those storage is the graphics.
Yeah. Oh, 16 gigabyte RAM. Yeah, that's to be expected. Like it's not 100, but 70 is still not a small number. So. All right. Okay, but all right. Is there anything else though you
No,
like to say?
I think I'm done.
You're done. All right.
Like
All right,
it's very frustrating to say that it's good. Just good.
Okay. All right then. What were you saying, Matchstick?
All right, let's get through Votoms and then we can get to the big brain.
All right. We can do your big brain as well.
So, Armor Trooper Votoms or Votoms, because it's supposed to rhyme with bottoms, but Votoms sound cooler, so I'll be going with that.
So Mecha Vietnam.
That is only the second arc. It's my favorite arc. It's a story about a guy called two superpowers, Gilgamesh and Balrog, had this 100-year war, and at the end, post that, like recently, right after, a Gilgamesh soldier named Kiriko and his group stumble upon a mysterious ship. They find a woman, a bald, looks like test tube woman, and they're driven off the ship with little Kiriko being the only survivor. And then and then eventually he finds himself crash landed upon a Blade Runner world.
Woo!
And he asks, all right, what was that? What is going on?
You forgot the part where he's framed. He was basically thrown under the bus.
Oh yeah, he was also framed.
He was also framed.
I watched the first arc last year, so.
Okay.
It's that one's not fresh on memory.
Yeah, and like what's so fun about the first arc is that you get to learn about Jericho. About first off is like he's not like an ordinary Votom spy, which are already a badass. He's like the top badass.
Yeah.
And they keep like building his legend. It's like, oh, he was just this normal guy, and then he's part of the Red Shoulders. He's part of
it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there.
Yeah, I know what happens at the end, but it just gets more and more ridiculous to the point where it's like Jericho is just Mecha John Wick.
Hey, that sounds cool.
At the end of it, I'm like, okay, all right. The ending is like, it's done well, but I think I preferred the first half of the series to the second half.
Okay.
I think I just had a lot more fun there. Well, the second half is good, and I still have fun. I think I prefer the first half.
All right. Hold on, real quick. Just keep talking. I'm gonna do the rest real quick. Just keep talking.
It's divided up into 4 arcs, comprised of about 13 episodes each. The first arc is Blade Runner. Second arc is Vietnam. Third arc is third and fourth arc are basically one part Space Odyssey, one part Indiana Jones, both of them. I'm about to sneeze. Yeah. Am I still? Am I still here? Okay.
Yeah, we're still here.
And each arc has a very unique flavor to it. The second two arcs kind of blend together a little bit because I feel like since the third and fourth arc, half of it takes place on a ship, and the other half on the desert world. For both arcs, they kind of blend together a little bit. I feel like one should have. I feel like they should have stayed to one genre, not cross both, because in that way it'll help make each arc a bit more unique. But in terms of how I like the series, it would arc 4 would be I think arc 3 and 4 are at the bottom, then arc 1, then arc 2 at the top. But we get a lot of fun stuff. Arc 1 is Blade Runner. You got mystery investigations. You got cyberpunk. You got escaping the mines, pit fighting, political corruption. I mean, we don't stop at the political corruption, but this is more like local citywide corruption. We've got gangs, and we get to see the power of what one armored trooper can do against the local forces. Second one is a big war, Vietnam. We're getting teams of armored trooper of Votoms fighting each other. We got the mercenary soldiers, and they have a fun time with that. We get expand the conspiracy. Get to know a few of the more key players. And then the third arc, half of it takes place on a ship, and the other half takes place on a bombed-out, radiated, well, no, not radiated, but oxygenless world. This one, it was all right. Like, I feel like it kind of stagnated the progression a little bit, to be honest. And then arc 4 is, by the end of it, you're having massive battles between hundreds and hundreds of ships and Votoms. You're getting Indiana Jones looking for the weird Space Odyssey stuff. It's pretty fun.
Alright, I'm back.
Some of the key, and then you got your key characters. You got Kiriko, who's. How do I explain Kiriko? He's very much the 80s kind of silent. He's quite silent, so it's usually kind of his opinions and what he's interested in is kind of not focused on all too much. It's not given a voice too much, though it's clear that he goes through tons of progression throughout the arcs. It's a slightly less noticeable because he's just such the strong silent type. Usually to counterbalance it, you got a group of misfits, Gotho, Coconut, and Vanilla. I know Coconut and Vanilla are, but I'm pretty sure Gotho is like some Japanese cuisine or something like that. they're kind of like they're kind of a group of misfits that help with the technical stuff.
All right.
That tend to be butt of the jokes, and they're quite fun. You got the mystery woman herself, who does as it goes on plays a larger and larger part.
All right.
Problem is that because the mystery is so strong in the first few arcs, and then there's new stuff that comes on later, it's kind of quite hard to talk about.
Okay.
A lot of the characters that continue on throughout the series. You have the Sly Commander Rochina,
All right.
who I didn't really pay much attention to, but as it went on, I liked. The mecha designs are really fun. They're kind of like short, stumpy little mechs. That are they kind of die a lot, but when you see what they do to civilian forces, it's they tear through them. And when you got a person who can really knows what he's doing with them, they could take out a lot of stuff. Yeah. Anybody have any questions? Anything to help?
No, I like the Votom designs, and I like the approach. The stuff I have seen, I'm like halfway through.
Oh, okay.
And like I do like, I need to finish it, but it's such a great series in my opinion. I really like Chirico. He's like a badass, really on that, and also. What's the name of the chick again?
Fiona. Yeah.
Yeah, Fiona. Like such a great relationship between them that develops throughout the series. Not gonna watch any. Not gonna watch that.
The third arc is basically them together for the whole thing.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna say Kiriko. You know, even though he was technically justified being, did some dick moves in the fourth arc.
He did some dick moves.
I get it. I get where you're coming from. Those are still some dick moves.
Okay. Is there anything in particular like you really liked about just like Votoms in general, Matchstick?
It's just one of the parts just working together to make the whole great. It's not. I can't really count to anything in particular that I really enjoy.
Okay.
But each of the smaller parts are good on its own, and it's just elevated to make a good series.
Okay.
The ending was kind of weird, though.
It was weird. Oh, okay. So you would recommend Votoms? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I recommend, but
you recommend. All right. Actually, I'm gonna look this up. How much would it cost to get like a fucking like DVD of this shit? Oh, Amazon has a Blu-ray for Armor Trooper Votoms for $88.
Probably a lot of money.
$88. Yeah,
How much?
That's, $88 on Amazon.
88?
Yeah, for a Blu-ray of Armor Troopers or Votoms. So, yeah, that's a kind of a not a small number. So.
Hey, tell you what. When you come to C2E2 next year, we can go check out the bootleg Blu-rays and DVDs they got. I'm not joking. They probably have it. They're not bad.
Yeah. No, Chelsea, Votoms is not related to Gun. Well, okay, the only thing that Gundam and Votoms have in common is it's both Sunrise, and the mechanical designs was by Okawara, right?
Yeah, Kunio
Yeah.
Okawara.
Yeah, that's why like the Votoms, Chelsea, you like you said they look like these like little like midget Zakus. It's like that's because it's the same guy who designed the Zaku in Gundam. So, but no, these two shows are not related, Chelsea. They're not the same. Though I remember now. I think Comet showed me there was one of the Gundam Build series, and there was a Gunpla that this guy was using in the Divers game that like was just straight up a reference to Votoms. So I was like, oh, that's fun. Yu Yu Hakusho, James? Okay.
Yeah. Yu Yu Hakusho.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, that's not what we're talking about, but that's a great series.
All right. James, are you drunk?
My man, Kuroba.
Botan? No, Chelsea, the VTuber is not. Are you drunk, James? Did you? How much did you drink tonight? How much did you drink tonight, man? Come on.
You're not talking about me, but I only had one margarita.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, how was it?
It was alright.
Okay.
I'm having a Pepsi Nitro.
Ah.
Pepsi Nitro. I haven't had that in a while.
I had like.
They stopped stocking it here.
Ah.
I'm really sad.
Ah. You're sober, James. You're just dumb tonight. Okay. I had like 5 cans of Diet Coke today. That's so.
So I tried to go find Gears again because like now I know like you're just kind of and they were gone.
Aw, damn, that's a shame. All right. I guess
Let's get to that big brain.
You want to do that big brain now, Matchstick?
Big brain surgery.
All right.
I mean, we got to do it before I have to go to bed.
All right. So we're doing a little impromptu 5th topic going on here. The big brain. You've been willing to talk about this for a bit now. You're just gonna now. You're now gonna finish off a bottle of wine, James. All right. Hey. You want to drink? I'm not your parent. You're a grown man. Go drink.
So as we look around today, we look. I believe we are at the beginning of the end. I feel like
very long
everybody smell. What?
A very long beginning because it's been like 2 years.
No, I mean like the. I mean depends on when you count the end, but I'm like this is when the fall is gonna start accelerating. We're seeing the columns crumble right now.
All right.
But I think everybody can start. I think everybody's just starting to smell the blood in the water.
Hmm.
I mean.
All right.
So that's smelling it. We're starting to see blood, and that's because like, ooh, those stock. I heard Disney just shot down twice, like in the past few weeks, and it's like, ooh.
All right.
It's not great. But as we look across us, we're just seeing just a modicum of the mainstream media just really starting to eat itself alive. And I think at this point, we're starting to. I'm just talking in circles right now. But we're starting to see them start to go into more rapid decline.
All right.
Disney is losing stock and money at the wazoo. Like, let's see, on the top end and not even on the bottom end. Just look at games journalism. like IGN is going to is buying up just hordes of smaller games journalist publishers, and IGN. I think IGN is just gonna buy up all the stuff and just take it with it as it dies, because I think AI is gonna like replace games journalists, because everybody hates games journalists and they make no money.
People are gonna use AI to write the reviews now.
Yeah, to bring up topics and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. All right, ChatGPT, write me a negative review about I don't know what's a popular game, the latest Call of Duty.
I mean, not like a maybe not like a
not a review. Cheng, is because like review. People don't go to gaming sites anymore for reviews. People go to like the reason Kotaku had to like cut out most of its staff is because they were changing their entire objective to focus on making guides, because that's what IGN is. IGN is only afloat because of the guides they create.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's
and really AI is just gonna. I feel like AI is gonna play an interesting part in the future of the media. But that's a little bit later in this talk. What do you guys think?
AI! I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really paid attention to like follow mainstream media that much. Just kind of been doing my own thing. It's but like
I mean, once it does, it's gonna affect you.
True.
Certainly.
I mean, like you do see though like the current state of like a lot of like industries nowadays, and you see like, man, things aren't really looking, too good. Like
and with times becoming tough, the first thing that's going out is media. So only the best is going to survive, and when you don't have anything good, you're not going to be bought. Which means that companies are even going to lose a lot more money. Like I hear Disney talking about how they like there's also like something interesting like with it organizations that don't change leadership and that leadership is making all the wrong decisions. They'll just keep making those wrong decisions infinitely until they crash the thing, because they think if they do those things, they'll save it. Like Disney is it's on a spending spree, and that's costing them hordes of money. They $1 billion into Star Wars, $1 billion into Fox. They're looking to buy up some anime stuff. The question is, are they going to spend another $1 billion on it, or are they going to fall before that happens? Or will a coup happen and then the leadership will change?
I'm reminded now though of like a lot of stuff going on with like the gaming industry. A lot of very interesting decisions being made by all these companies. There was just that 1 week, like I think it was the week of the whole like Helldivers 2 situation going on.
Yeah.
Like just that week, all these companies came out with like all these like really like very bold, I must say, decisions.
It's like they're trying to outcompete each other for how dumb they can make them.
It was the stupidity Olympics.
There was a whole Helldivers 2 situation, and then we were talking about just like very like for a second there with Ninja Theory being bought up by Microsoft, and that just reminded me, like Microsoft, their decisions going on right now,
like this was I think I think the hardest thing about this whole thing is that as like when the trial, the trial when they the FTC trial, when they bought out Bethesda really speaks a lot now. When you know that they weren't buying up Bethesda essentially just to be a monopoly. They were buying up Bethesda because they were planning on closing those studios.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah.
Like this whole liquidation, this whole liquidation parade is cynical in how and how much it seems like the big two are trying to squash indie developers, because you get great independent teams like Arrowhead and Tango, who really seem like they are leading the next step into gaming, and they're cut off from their knees because the big two are afraid.
And they have every right to be, because after they collapse, which probably going to happen, but they're still probably going to be around, but just in a diminished state afterwards. They're no longer going to have a monopoly. Like, consoles is going to be one of the last few generations of consoles. I think we can agree on that. Like, it's starting to.
I would disagree.
I think. Well, I'd say Xbox and PlayStation at least. At the very least, Xbox.
As of right now, yeah. They can always bounce back, but that requires a massive change in leadership. It's essentially both companies. The leadership needs to be having a new attitude, and out of the big two in the West that is most likely and most needs to change, it would be Sony. Because Sony's gaming division is the one that's propping up the company in general. If the video game division in Sony falls, there goes Sony in general. Microsoft could just simply close a lot of the big Xbox divisions, just keep the developers.
Yeah, they make most of their money on PC and other stuff like that. They don't. Right. They're not. The gaming stuff's just a big add-on.
Yeah.
But it's the way they're handling. Sorry.
Yeah, Xbox is more of pocket change to Microsoft.
Yeah, and I think one of the reasons why it's we're getting more Xbox is becoming more concerned with the bottom line is that because of the acquisitions they had with Activision and Bethesda. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, you just now had two big multi-million-dollar purchases.
Yeah.
You better make that back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the people in charge of Xbox trying to keep themselves out of trouble. Because Microsoft, the amount they spent for Bethesda and whatnot and Blizzard is nothing compared to how much revenue they make overall. But it's still not a good look if people like Phil Spencer and forget her name spend billions of dollars on stuff and have nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
Right?
And Nintendo
investors wouldn't be happy with that.
And we all know that in the corporate world, the investors are God, and we are just their pitiful servants. But Nintendo's probably just gonna be doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's fair to say more or less. There might be changes, but it probably won't affect them too much in the long term. In the short term, I can see maybe some hiccups here and there, but in the long term, they're probably they're probably just going to be keeping doing what they're doing.
Yeah, well, it really depends on what they're going to do with their next console. We know that they're going to announce the next console by the end of the year.
It's the
where
watch us they tell us the Wii U is back.
The Nintendo Switch U.
Exactly, the Switch U. The Wii U. Somehow, the Wii U has returned.
As far as I heard, it's probably going to be... It's being dubbed the Switch 2. It's going to be more improved.
Yeah.
Switch 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. The question is it going to be fully backwards compatible with the OG Switch?
That would be an instant buy for me if they do that, but shitty.
Yeah. I've heard that it will be backwards compatible, and people are expecting it to be like the 3DS.
Okay.
Like you can play DS games on the 3DS, but you can play 3DS games on the DS.
Mm-hmm.
So the cartridges had a little bit of plastic on one edge, so they couldn't fit in an old DS. So they'll probably just bring that little addition back for the Switch 2 cartridges.
Okay.
Yeah, and it also depends on price point. So.
Yeah.
Because I have heard that they are gonna actually provide have a slightly more expensive model, like more in line with the modern consoles, around like $450.
Okay.
But it's the real question. At the rate these companies are going towards, eventually they're all gonna just collapse. They probably won't be gone completely. Some of them will, but they're not gonna be holding this giant monopoly, this stranglehold on the industry. And what's gonna happen next? Obviously, it's gonna be the rise. Sorry.
Oh, I would just say, well, it depends of how it falls and how the fall comes about, and what style. Because if it is a simple investors start pulling out, they may start investing in other companies, like some of the more well-profiled indie devs that are making multi-million dollars. Like we could see Larian become a big publisher if they release their next game and it's a massive hit.
Yeah. On the other hand, they could just be doing what they're doing for right now, just continue like this, and then they just run out of money. They'll pay for people. They just shut down half their stuff or something like that.
Well, they're gonna just start firing people before they run out of money. Like the thing is that these companies have the money to take the hit. They're just firing people to make the money last longer until the next hype train.
Yeah, but even if with the hype train, I feel like they're just inflate. I feel like there's some kind of bubble. Like there's just a net worth bubble or something like that. And eventually it's gonna pop, because I don't think you can do that. You can't do this stuff forever and expect it to keep on working.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how it'll burst. I don't know when, but it just feels like a bubble that's gonna burst sometime. I think AI. I actually think AI is going to be a very big net positive for the industry. Mark these words. Mark these words. I feel like it will get like, obviously on the short term, bigger companies are going to use it as an excuse to fire people, so that they'll be able to have skeleton crews that will use AI to supplement their work to be able to make bigger things. But on the other hand, the people fired and the indie developers will have access to those same technologies or versions of them. So they'll be able to put out bigger things with fewer resources, potentially.
Well, AI,
which means that we'll be getting bigger.
No, good.
Yeah, but which means that we'll be able to get like more and more AA stuff or AA quality stuff from skeleton crews, effectively. Like this is my big brain, how I think things are going to go down theory.
Well, AI is already being like implemented already throughout like all these major industries and stuff. Like,
yeah, but we just know they're just going to improve on it, make it grow.
Yeah,
and do more things.
There, and there is always, but like AI always does bring up the topic of it could like the idea that it's gonna replace the jobs that human beings had and all that. That's always ends up becoming a huge debate and discussion. But like AI is already being like utilized, and yeah, you're right. It will just they keep getting better. Like that's the thing. Like now we're getting to like the whole AI conversation. But like the thing about the whole AI conversation is like, no matter it doesn't matter if what your opinion of it is, it's not gonna really be going away anytime soon. It's
like the dam has been burst.
Yeah.
There's no building back this new dam.
You could vehemently disagree with AI and I support your decision to have that opinion. I have my own opinion on AI and stuff, but either way, it's not going away anytime soon. You introduce these companies like AI and stuff, telling them oh, the computer can do all these jobs, and that way, so you don't have to hire as many people. It's they're like, shit, why didn't we think of this before? This is great. So they're not gonna get rid of AI anytime soon.
But on the other hand, sorry,
AI replacing people is it's been a thing repeated throughout history. A new technology is invented, and people were like, "Oh, this is going to replace people," and it does, but it also opens up new avenues in the industry. And
exactly,
we accomplish so much more in farming with a lot less people through machines and other technologies. The cotton gin at the time caused a lot of controversy because it could de-seed cotton really quickly, when originally you would have to do that by hand.
People originally, before writing, they would tell oral stories and have all these systems through memory and through oral, and it destroyed. And when writing came around, it destroyed a lot of that. But look at what we accomplished from writing. I don't think AI is going to be as big as revolution as writing, but I feel like it is a revolution. I feel like this is going to be a revolution. And while it closes down some jobs, it will grow. It closes down jobs, but companies and in the industry there'll be more of them. There'll be more to go around.
But you know what the most important part about AI is gonna be?
Oh, what's that?
It's gonna lead us to the wonderful utopia under communism. Because why? Because if AI takes away our jobs, how are we gonna get paid? Only solution: communism.
Oh. Oh, excuse me.
Not to mention, it'll create even more competition, because now a lot of these workers who are able to just coast by because they have because who else are you gonna hire? Like everybody's shit. Everybody's shit and everybody's lazy. Who are you gonna hire? Somebody that's shit and lazy? That's what we have available. And now that we have AI,
right,
that's better than these shit and lazy people.
Right.
It provides an incentive for competition, because now they're gonna have to get off their asses, or they're gonna be toast.
Right. Like the.
It's gonna kill off a lot of the excess.
Like a lot of
a lot of fat.
Yeah, like in a lot of the media industry, like there was the whole the strike, like the AI writer strike and stuff, and the thing was I remember we were talking about, we kind of found out a lot of the writers that are striking, they're not really that good writers. So
they're gonna be those people's their jobs are gonna be chopped off first. So the people who fight against AI the hardest are the people who stand to lose the most. And if an AI robot can do more than you,
yeah,
you're probably gonna be replaced at some point.
But I do feel though that at least I don't know, in the good future timeline, right? Like the AI should at least I agree, it should incentivize some kind of meritocracy, oh shit, let's say you're a concept artist for a movie, right? Oh shit, they brought an AI to do the concept artwork. Well shit, at least the idea, I hope the idea should be, oh well, I should then really be I should be really good at my job to show them, hey, I could do a better job than the fucking computer. And it's oh, you can. Well, okay then. Well, we'll keep you on board. You're better than the computer.
And on the other hand, if that's its effect on bigger companies, imagine what indies can do with it. They'll probably still need to pay. They'll probably still have to have the same people around. They're probably not going to fire them. That's worthy resources that you need people. But they're just going to restructure it so you put those people in different places, and you get the AI to do the work that would have been done by those people. So those people who are in the different places can do their job there, and then a robot can do.
So
the excess jobs.
So.
I don't think it's gonna be like that.
Okay.
Just because of the amount of pushback going on with the AI in general, because you still have that ethical issue.
True.
About
AI, using your.
But on the other hand. Nobody's really stopped this stuff before.
So
it is in a meritocracy,
it's not going to be a meritocracy with AI.
In capitalism. Sorry.
No, here we're not in a pure capitalist society. We are. No, there's going to be some major government involvement in there, and just makes everything crappy.
Yeah.
And the big companies are going to push those legislations because they are going to be the ones who will benefit the most.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, will those big companies be able to survive?
If you're an indie dev, if you're an indie dev and you are found out that the possibility of hiring people, because again, like even though the people who would be fired would be crappy, and crappy writers and stuff, they're still out of a job, right?
Yeah.
They're still out of a job, and all of a sudden they find out that, oh, these indie studios that, you know, that could hire them, and that like everybody loves indie studios. Like they have, and turns out they are using AI for some jobs, not all of them. They're gonna say, hey, that should have been my jobs. Like the people who are like the indie studios are gonna get hurt a lot about people being replaced by AI, as opposed to the big companies, because it's essentially becomes a gun behind the head. It's like, hey, you better hire up those people that got fired by the big companies, or we may like just have a massive boycott. And I think the biggest problem, it's kind of tied to earlier you know, that whole entitlement with the Hellblade 2 reviews. I think it's probably one of the big things that could happen in the future, and I wouldn't be surprised, is that there's gonna be a time where people will be disillusioned by the YouTuber reviewer.
Okay.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets revealed that there's like some cabalism.
Cabalism?
For, like, you know, they're in like a little bit of like a cabal where they're like a think tank group, and it's like not necessary because of being honest with their reviews, but more of like trying to push something.
I feel like that you have the right idea, but because of YouTube's decentralized nature, that can only work to so much of an extent.
Well, I'm thinking of like the more legacy YouTubers, like long terms that people have built trust over the years. I'm not thinking of like you know, the new up and coming YouTube reviewers, or like the smaller people.
All right.
Like I'm thinking of something like Second Wind, like those guys. And
Second Wind, I never heard of them.
That's Yahtzee's Crowshaw's new company.
Oh.
Like he left the Escapists over a firing, and he and a bunch of people who were former Escapist employees formed their own company to be more, and they have like public service, and it's like a employee-owned company.
Oh, okay.
And they post their financial reports to their audience.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So like if the AI is the future, that's kind of the thing I'm thinking of, is that it's not gonna make anything better. It's just gonna be a different flavor of worse.
I wouldn't say worse, just neutrality.
No. So
no, it's gonna be a different flavor of bad. It's like, yeah, we're gonna trade in one
right now with
another one.
I feel like it's just because our culture is kind of like not great right now, but any other culture would, you know, it would still affect things.
Wait, what did you say something?
And it'd be used for good or bad, whatever.
Wait, hold on. I think I was trying to say something.
Ultimately, I think the net positive of AI, more than anything, is it puts a lot more insights into these. Puts a lot more insight behind the curtains. Because with this sort of this cabal of nepotism and security, we kind of figure out, hey, we're kind of left to wonder, hey, what are all these jobs for? If you are not doing your job, you know, if you're not doing your job, where someone in a lesser position would be fired fired for not doing it well.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you still here?
Mm.
If your one thought in the presence of AI is to not be better, but to try to come up with reasons to destroy it, it shows to me that there is a fear there that I think the consumer needs to be aware of. I'm very neutral in AI, where I don't really want to see it prosper, but if something will stagnate, there should be some, we need to have something, a way and a view to see.
We need something to shake things up.
Yeah, we need something to shake things up.
Like, the main problem right now with the video game industry specifically is that one of the problems is leadership, and I personally think part of the problem is that the leadership is still the people who started these companies back in the 90s. And
we should
and the thing is, they're all in all the major companies, they're even kind of covering each other's back. When Phil Spencer is not talking anything about the four companies, the former head of Blizzard was trying to defend him. It's like, what about?
But I feel like at the same time though, Blizzard's reputation has severely tanked now.
Well, here's the thing. It's my point is that a lot of these guys have known each other for years in this video game, in this industry.
Ooh, nepotism.
Yeah, and well, it's not necessarily nepotism, but it's just they have not given the reins to the next generation.
It's the current elite, and they're trying to be autocratic about things.
Yeah, they have
compared to sorry.
They don't have the fire in them to care about the company themselves. They only care about their own pockets and their own friend groups. Not about hey, we need to care about Xbox the company and how we can make Xbox good. Instead, it's more, how do we keep our jobs in our current positions of power?
Yeah.
And we keep it by pleasing the investors. We don't want to get fired, so we're going to just let go of employees. As opposed to contrast that with Nintendo. When the Wii U flopped hard, Satoru Iwata took a pay cut to keep employees.
I will not get the second yacht. It was a tear. I would have called you Luigi, but I only have now Mario.
Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, I don't think we should be, exactly, Nintendo isn't. I wouldn't say Nintendo's, better or worse than
perfect.
No, they're better. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they are better.
They are better.
They are way better at this. They could be crappy at points. Yeah. They could be crappy, but in comparison, right now with Sony and Microsoft, they are angels in comparison.
Right. I'm just saying though, I'm just saying so. Still, just because they're being better doesn't we should. I'm just saying, there's a chance, people could take this as so we should put Nintendo on a pedestal. Then it's no, but they are just doing better, mostly because they're just kind of doing their own thing at the moment. So
well, here's the thing: they're operating Nintendo like a video game company.
All right,
like an actual video game business. Microsoft and Sony is trying to do brand stuff.
Yeah.
They're not focusing on the companies themselves. They're trying to make it more about the brand. like that is why Nintendo is also so happy, because they care about Nintendo as a company, and because of the laws in both countries, you have to be aggressive with your copyright law.
Yeah, but I also feel like okay, real quick though, I do feel like we've been focusing heavily on like the gaming industry and stuff, but like that's still only like
probably because that's the most familiar to us.
True, but like there is still, but that's only like still half like the in like what makes up media and all that. Like, just okay.
Yeah, Nintendo is very happy, not because of like copyright, because it's not copyright. It's trademark law. The Japanese are, well, America and Western countries have fair use. Japan does not really believe in fair use.
Yeah.
So like, some guy was advertising a party, and he put Pokemon pictures on the posters.
Oh no.
And Nintendo tried suing them for it. Because like, we own Pokemon, you're not allowed to use Pokemon because screw your fair use. We're Japanese.
Yeah.
Don't they have like a weird exception when it comes to doujinshis?
With doujinshi work, anything involving like a licensed character is usually given out for free, because a lot of doujinshi is not really like fan fiction. A lot of it is like independent work. That's what the word comes from. So if you do release a work, like if you do release a work with a licensed character, they're not allowed to profit off of it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's, as long as you're not profiting off of it, it's perfectly okay to it's go ahead.
Yeah, usually if you're not profiting off something, companies will leave you alone until certain circumstances. Like, there are some guys making a Halo RTS mod, and Microsoft was fine with them doing that until they sent them a cease and desist letter and let them know, we are making a Halo RTS, so we're just concerned that your project will conflict with our project. But then a lot of other fan games don't do that. They generally get left alone.
And that is also sort of the mindset that Nintendo also has. Like a lot of times, it doesn't really come down to they need to enforce their intellect, their hold on their intellectual brands. They sue projects just simply because they have a bit of a anxiety over anxiety over their success. Like when they cease and desist the
another Metroid 2 remake.
Yes, another Metroid 2 remake. Like that was like people figured out that was mostly not because they wanted to, not because sorry, let me just say this. It was because they were already making their Metroid 2 remake, and they didn't want A2MR to overshadow it.
It's a Studio One Cell situation.
Oh yeah, there was a so for context, there was a third party. For Transformers fans know about third party toys, which is basically, a company. It makes a toy, an action figure that looks, very similar and like Optimus Prime, but it's not. Oh my gosh, it's Optimus Prime! It looks like Optimus Prime, but it isn't. But still, he transforms like Optimus Prime, but he's not. And so that's third party in general. And so at the time, so there was this one company. I think didn't they like rebrand to like Zeta Toys or some shit like that, Nick?
I think so.
I think like they rebranded, but so there was this company that made essentially a third party Unicron. And they, so it's their own figure, and it's not called Unicron, right? It just looks like Unicron, and it was pretty good. And then at the same time, Hasbro officially announced for their HasLab crowdfunding project their own official Unicron figure. So you got two Unicron figures competing against each other. So it's like, oh. And it didn't help that people were saying, man, the third-party toy looks better than the official one. So that third-party Unicron got kinda axed. And so they were able to get around with it, because I think the company rebranded. Like, no, we're not those guys who released a third-party Unicron. We're a different company. And then they released.
And we're releasing a third-party Unicron.
We're releasing a figure that's clearly third-party Unicron. But look, Hasbro, look. It doesn't have a head. So therefore, it's not Unicron. So you can't sue us anymore, you bastards.
It's just Kron.
Exactly, it's just Kron. And they actually were able to get away with it.
Head sold separately.
It was like head packaged separately. Don't worry, it's not Unicron. So they were able to get away with it.
But I feel like with the AAA devs having such, like, it was like, let's not say they're fearing. You feel like they're nervous. In fear about AA devs, which probably means that AA devs have a good future ahead of them if they're scaring the AAA guys so much, because AAA it's decaying, stagnant, and you just keep seeing these AA guys coming and popping on the scene. It's like, got so much. So they're the novus homo. They're the new breed. But they're scaring the old senators.
I want to make special mention. I want to applaud Shift Up.
Shift Up?
Because
because
they made Stellar Blade. Because of them kind of stoking up the fire and letting fans know what happened during the first day patch got repealed.
Why was the patch repealed?
The patch was sort of repealed because there were some changes, not big changes, but there were some changes, and I believe that those changes were applied because Sony was trying to see how far they could control Shift Up.
Okay.
And then they got slapped in the hand like, you. I lost money.
Like with fan support, Shift Up was able to actually allow Stellar Blade to be as uncensored as they want it to be.
This might provide a good precedent in the future. Would you think so?
Exactly, because this is going, like, with the eventual release of the PC port, like, this is going to work so much well in their favor.
Oh man, once Stellar Blade hits PC, those mods, man.
It feels like the AA games of today are kind of like just like the big games 15, 20 years ago. and that the game studios producing stuff 15, 20 years ago just became so big and so bloated.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're just become stagnant, and now we got the new blood. They're coming in. You got your Helldivers, your what was Hi-Fi Rush, your Hellblade. They're coming in, and they're coming in. They're going to. I feel like they're going to be the future. And you know, like 30 years, they're probably going to be the stagnant guys on top, and they're going to have to worry about their Novus Homo.
Man, the Hi-Fi Rush thing, though. Honestly, I can't really be mad. I just kind of, at the end of the day, it kind of just became somewhat of a comedy to me, because as soon as they axed the studio right, the fucking guy in charge of Microsoft, he comes up on the stage, is like, "Hey guys, we need games just like Hi-Fi Rush." It's like, then why did you axe the company?
So that, I think it's that kind of line of thinking that I think Ninja Theory is gonna be okay for one more project.
Okay.
Even with Hellblade 2. Like, Ninja Theory has always been, if you look at Ninja Theory's history, there have rarely been like a best selling company.
Okay.
Like,
Didn't they do the DMC Devil May Cry?
Yes.
Ugh. Sorry.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Oh, that was the one you guys didn't like. Okay.
Well, they were
It's the
basically
edgy. It's the.
Oh, it's the edgy
edgy
one?
2000s reboot.
Yeah, a lot of the problems with that game came from because of Capcom.
Oh.
Though they didn't help themselves when the studio had gotten in war with fans.
Yeah.
For reception.
The best thing I can say about the DMC situation is they were not the best devs to put on that project.
Okay.
Yeah, like the problem is that it was like, it's actually the most in depth of their combat systems, and
really,
yeah, and apparently Definitive Edition is like the best way to play it, but it's still not like Devil May Cry.
Okay.
Like their first official game was Heavenly Sword. It didn't sell that well. Then they did one of my personal favorite Ninja Theory game, Enslaved Odyssey to the West. It didn't sell well. Yeah, what?
No, you said
I know that one. But Enslaved Odyssey to the West, I know that one.
Yep. Andy Serkis, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, he was involved with Heavenly Sword and Enslaved, which you could buy on PC. Enslaved is available on PC. Heavenly Sword is still stuck on PS3.
Okay.
Andy Serkis loves monkeys, I guess.
Yeah, and then they did DMC 3, and then after that they worked on other projects, helping like the Disney Infinity games, you know, like a VR game. But then they had a small team to do Hellblade 1, which led into Hellblade 2. But they also did a game called Bleeding Edge, which was their multiplayer game.
Hey, I'm afraid it's my bedtime.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I want to mention really quick because Chinggis, you did mention you did want to bring up the like, you want to kind of diversify, kind of bring up another piece of media. I want to really bring up really quick one criticism I have of the major movie studios, and this is also is the same problem with the game studios. Is movie studios look like they're throwing out money.
Yeah, like how much money they're like just dumping into all these projects?
In a post -1 world, that should not be the case.
Yeah, because like Godzilla -1 was like, what was their budget again? Not
15 million.
15 million, like compared to like the hundreds of $1 million they pump into all these movies, it's like, wow. Yeah. Like,
well, yeah, that's.
And, yeah, and you're right. Like, it does also apply to like games as well. Like all these like AAA games you see, like they're like pumping so much money behind this stuff.
Well, part of the reason is that
90. A lot of it
just taking too long to develop. Same with movies; they're like so stuck in the oven. Like, when was the last time when you heard about like a major game having a quick turnaround from like the previous work?
I don't know. I'm not really, because
I can think of some stuff, but it's all in Japan, so that's a different culture. So I can't really. It's not really applicable.
Okay. But then that just makes you then ask the question, then why is it taking so long? Like, if we're pumping so much money into this stuff because it's taking so long, why? Why is it taking so long? That is a question that ends up being brought up.
Mismanagement.
Yeah.
Like Halo Infinite was horribly mismanaged. The Destiny games were horribly mismanaged, and like so for all the money that went into those games, they finally come out, and it's like the games are like developed for this amount of time when actually the amount of actual development time they really got was significantly smaller. Like, it's not just like a Western problem. Like Digimon Survive got rebooted like halfway through development, so they had to start from scratch because
Final Fantasy 15 is another example.
Like there's, like Habu is an idiot, so he's used to developing, AA, AAA games, and he went into Survive wanting to make an indie game. But because he's used to, and I thought like, well, he must have had a bigger scope than that. And he admitted, he did have a bigger scope than what an indie team could handle. So they had to re-pitch the game to investors and then move it to a different team. And so when the game finally came out, it's a terrible game. Like it's a visual novel where across the entire game, you can have one meaningful choice in any playthrough. Literally every other choice is meaningless, but one choice in every playthrough. Cyberpunk was also horribly mismanaged. No Man's Sky was horribly mismanaged. They got better over time, but something like Halo Infinite continued to be heavily mismanaged even after development. And I think it's also a problem of like a lot of game studios don't, like EA and whatnot, they don't have much money on hand. So all the money comes from investors, which is why the games are so safe, or they have certain things crammed into them to appease investors, because like they need to make their money back. But then the problem with something like Halo Infinite is like Microsoft has a lot of money, but people like Phil Spencer are way too hands off with Xbox. So they're like, oh, why isn't there another Banjo-Kazooie game? Like, well, Rare doesn't want to make another Banjo-Kazooie game. And like the fact that Halo Infinite happened at all after Halo 5 was just like absolutely shocking that they let it happen. And it took Microsoft a while after Halo Infinite to finally get in there and kick some asses and like kick out the leadership, because like, you've mismanaged like 5 different projects at this point. Like the Master Chief Collection has gone a lot better, but when it came out, 343 came out and said like, yeah, like all the bugs that are there, you're gonna just have to deal with them. And then I think what happened was around the time the Xbox Series X was, the Xbox One X was coming out, Microsoft probably went to 343 like, hey, we need a good game to push this console upgrade, fix your crap. So then that's when 343 went back to fixing the Master Chief Collection after not touching it for ages. But then with a bunch of the other stuff like Redfall, Microsoft was just completely hands off, and Phil Spencer even said with Redfall, we probably should have been more involved.
It also hurts the fact that Arcane Austin didn't even wanted to do Redfall. Like Redfall was a game that was just slapped onto their lap, and they got no oversight with it. So
yeah,
these developers,
because companies was into the live service model. It's like, hey, let's make live service games.
Yeah, because like Bethesda was trying to do all this stuff to try and beef up their value before their acquisition, because they were on the market, and Microsoft they didn't approach Microsoft. They were like, hey, anyone want to buy us? And then Microsoft came along. That's why they made Fallout 76 and why it launched so horribly. And the developers of Redfall were like, fingers crossed Microsoft comes in, sees the project and how much of a mess it is, and either cancels it or reboots it as a single player experience. But they were so hands off, they didn't do any of that. Like, yeah, you guys, you keep doing what you're doing. Everything's probably fine.
Okay. I see. Wow.
But to summarize, these people are going to be eventually going to be gone or diminished, and it's going to be interesting to see what comes after.
Yeah, 'cause I watched a podcast the other day, and they were talking about how we're kind of overdue for a collapse of the gaming industry. And we probably really need one right about now.
Okay.
It's probably going to be more of a collapse of the AAA side of the industry.
Yeah. But like
and
that's
probably.
But I wanted to tell a little story. Okay. So, Roman Empire. 400s. Okay, before it's probably one of the like at the time it's probably one of the worst places to live in. Barbarian invasions, bureaucracy up your ass, starvation, famine, stuff like that. After it falls, genetic records, and they're tasting bodies, and you're like, oh. The height grew like half a foot after the Roman Empire fell. For your average citizen.
Interesting.
And people are having a better life. The average citizen was having a better life. Sometimes the AAA industry is decadent. It's gotta fall.
I will say that I also think that the very small indie devs are going to get hit hard too. I think the people who are going to come out unscathed are going to be the bigger indie devs for the collapse.
Okay.
Yeah, but I really need to get to bed.
All right.
Yeah,
this is a really fun conversation, though.
Yeah.
All
right. Have a good night, guys.
All right.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, you guys. Well, it's just the four of us. I don't know. It doesn't have the same ring as just the two of us. Damn.
See, you're not making it. See, you're not trying hard enough.
I'm not trying hard enough. Just the four of us. We can make it if we try. Just the four of us. Oh, go ahead.
Really quick change. Before we get to SGD's topic, I'm just gonna say this really quick.
Okay.
So when it comes to like for movies, when it comes to like non-studio like entertainment companies, like you're familiar with A24, of course,
right? Yeah,
are you familiar with
play this movie?
Are you familiar with Neon?
Neon? Not really, but I think you were like I remember like you were showing me something. They're like releasing like those like new like horror movies, right?
Yes. Neon, ever since they distribute like they help distribute Colossus, the movie where I think it was Anne Hathaway was in that movie, where she is like she's psycho linked to a kaiju in Japan, and so it's a comedy where like this normal girl in America is controlling this kaiju without her knowing.
Oh, that actually sounds fun. Why haven't I heard of this before? When did this movie come out?
Came out 2017.
Ah, that's why. Okay, that explains that. Okay, that explains a lot. Cause that sounds like a really fun movie. Like that sounds really fun actually. But no, it came out 2017. I was I was too busy hyping myself up for the last night.
Wow!
I've said this before, Nick. There was a time where I genuinely loved every live-action Transformer movie out there, and nothing could dissuade me.
Chance, even when the last night was coming out, I was going, this movie's gonna suck.
No, Nick. When the last night came out, I remember walking out of the theaters going, that was the best one yet.
Thank God I'm here to help correct your brain.
No. Okay, so, okay, I guess before we move on, like, little story. Funny enough, it was because of, like, my time of being hyper political, Nick, that, like, that's the funny thing.
Are you telling me that because you were all right-wing conservative, you were like, these movies are fucking awesome?
I'm not a right-wing conservative, Nick.
But like that kind of attitude?
I used to. I guess you could say I was, past tense, a right-wing conservative. Nowadays, I realize, no, both sides fucking suck. It's stupid. So...
Join the Libertarian Party.
No, the Libertarian Party's a fucking joke, Nick.
No.
Libertarian Party's a joke. No, but
no,
but
what the fuck?
No, but like that fucking like Trump era of I call it the Trump era because like that's really just how you could define that whole era. Like everyone was obsessed with the Donald. from like media to politics, everything. You couldn't escape the Donald. Everyone was talking about the Donald at the time. So you just kind of have to call it the Trump era. But then that's where I got like super hyper political, and that's also kind of how I started getting to like the whole like fucking bullshit culture war shit. Nowadays, I realize, oh, that's stupid too. But like, no joke, the whole like culture war shit kind of actually make me realize I have terrible media literacy at the time.
Yeah.
And it was actually because of that I started, getting better. And so like I can't, so like as much as I look back on that era and I go, wow, that was also pretty cringe. It actually did sort of help me in the long, now now, because of that time, I could look back at the last night and I go, why the fuck was I hyped for that movie? There was 2017 was the same year War of the Planet of the Apes came out. Like, why was
You're going to be excited for that?
Well, I mean, I was, but for different reasons, Nick. Nick, I was hyped for a different reason because I just saw, monkey shoot gun. No.
If I had my camera on right now.
Wait, you have your camera on?
No.
Oh.
If I did.
No, that was just a time where I just didn't have media literacy at all. So, but now I know better. I know better now, so. No, but now I'm actually really fucking disappointed in myself. I can't believe there was a kaiju comedy movie that came out that year, and I didn't know about it because I was too busy getting excited for a terrible Transformer movie.
What's it called?
What was it called again, Not?
Colossal.
Colossal. But I don't know. That was just a little tangent there. But what were you saying though about like Colossal and Neon? Not.
I'm just saying, I know you're doing right. Look, you obviously do not like Civil War. I'm in that boat with you. Would you say Civil, at least having created a movie like Civil War is a much better outcome than a lot of these studios kind of just abusing these franchises, especially Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Love writing off films for tax purposes.
Yeah. I remember earlier this year, there was a report that came out that there was all these tax write-offs and stuff, but then was Zaslav's income raised by a 25%. And it's like, holy shit. Dude's a fucking Saturday morning cartoon villain right there. It's like, all right, I'm gonna get all these movies axed for a tax write-off, and I'm gonna get that 25% rise in income. It's like, bro, you're a fucking Saturday morning cartoon villain. No, but I can see where you're coming from, though. Not like, and yeah, they're like, I do agree. You know, it's Civil War wasn't a good movie, but like, I'm glad though. Like A24 though is they're willing to like help like distribute and produce like all sorts of like movies and stuff. Like they gave us Civil War, but like this is the same guys that help distribute Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is like one of my favorite movies of all time. So like so like yeah, like I do hope like A24 keeps up like what they're doing and stuff. So but Civil War wasn't good. Why the fuck was it called Civil War? I'm gonna just say it right there. Why was it called Civil War? Oh, I did not like that movie. Alright. I guess, anyways. What was I gonna say? Is there... Does anyone else here have anything left to say, though, about, like, this topic? Or are we good to move on?
I'm pretty much good to move on.
You're pretty much good to move on? Alright.
Yeah, let's...
Alright, last topic of the night. Junkhead SGD. Stop motion. I like stop motion.
So do I, Tangus. Junkhead is a Japanese stop motion film by Taka Hidehori, and apparently he was entirely self-taught when it came to stop motion.
Really?
Yeah, I think he was one of 2 animators on the whole film.
Oh wow!
And yeah, it took 7 years to make. But it's not his first stop motion project. He made a short called Junkhead 1 in 2013, and then this film came out in 2021. But apparently he did release a shorter version of the film initially. But I haven't seen either of those. But I saw this film from a clip on Twitter. And it was a kind of a funny scene.
Alright.
But the setting itself is a dystopian future where humanity managed to extend their lifespan through gene manipulation, but it also costs them their ability to reproduce. And so it implies, like, at a point in the film, things are still pretty bad for humans. So, like, when a human dies, they can't replace them. And they also bring up the Morrigans, who were a slave race made by the humans, but they rebelled. So they live in the lower levels of where the humans live, and the humans live at the top. And they never interact, so the main character of the film, who isn't really named until he's given the nickname Junkers, is sent down to try and find a cure for human infertility. And he, on his way down, his pod gets blown up. Reducing him down to just a head. So that's why it's called Junkhead. But he's found by some people and they give him a new body. And the movie is kind of about the people he meets and the trouble he finds himself into pretty regularly.
Okay.
And I think it's a very, very well made film. Even just like the storytelling aspect, like we're shown things and there's parts where like, okay, I expect that to show up later, and it does. And then there's parts where like things you don't expect to show up later do show up later, and they have pretty big impact on the events of the film. Another interesting thing about the film is it's entirely subtitled because the language spoken by all the characters is basically just noises. So they're not actually speaking an existing language.
Okay.
Like the closest they come to saying any real world words is when they're referring to characters by name. And like it's definitely a film like people need to watch because I absolutely love this film. And it is the first part of an intended trilogy.
Really? Okay.
Yes, like definitely excited to see the second film when it finally comes out. It's like, who knows how long that'll be.
Is the guy still working on it then? Like to this day?
Yeah, it said that he's been trying to fund it through crowdfunding and his interior decorating business.
Okay.
Like given the first one took about 7 years, I'd say like we're at least halfway there to the next film.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm happy to wait. I think films have a better track record of being worth the wait than things like video games. Because like the final Evangelion rebuild movie was definitely worth the wait. But something like Dragon's Dogma 2 was most definitely not worth the wait.
Oh, okay. Alright. So you said this guy's just doing like everything on his own?
He did a lot of the work on his own. Like he did the writing and the directing.
Wow.
The editing.
Editing too. Wow. Okay.
Like he did a lot of the voice acting. And it's definitely like a very well realized project. Like,
okay.
It's got some pretty good world building. There was even praised by the Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like he lauded it as a work of deranged brilliance.
Oh, hey, that's pretty.
I think he's kind of over exaggerating like how deranged a film it is.
Okay.
It's no Mad God.
Oh yeah,
it's
God, that was.
Like it's definitely a film where like not only did I enjoy every moment of it, but like as the film went on, I kept enjoying myself even more. Like I was enjoying it for the first half. Then after the halfway mark, I was enjoying it even more. And then for the last half hour, I was enjoying it even more. And like the last 10 minutes are like the best scenes in the film.
Okay. Wow.
And it's just, you know, I don't want to go into like spoilers and stuff because like, it is like absolutely I feel like I cannot recommend enough.
Okay. Oh. Wow, I can't believe this guy's just like doing most of it on his own though. That's super impressive.
Yeah, like it took him 7 years to make 140,000 different shots.
Wow. Damn. Holy shit, that's crazy. That's crazy. I have to ask, like, what was it say? How this movie was like, this movie's got like DVD and stuff, right? Like, so it's got like official like distribution.
I'm not sure. You can find it on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah. I think it would probably be hard to find an official release because it's kind of a more niche film.
Oh, okay. There. Yeah, someone just uploaded the whole thing onto YouTube. Okay. Because I'm just wondering, like, who was like how this film was like distributed and all that. So, is it okay? Huh. Interesting. Oh.
Okay, it's a snippet of a review saying like because it's not conventionally dubbed, that you can just focus on the visuals, which I think I don't agree with that at all. I think ignoring the dialogue and the story does the film a huge disservice.
Wait, so on YouTube is the film subbed in English or
Yeah,
Japanese?
yeah, it's subtitled in English.
In English, okay.
I think they did officially release a proper English sub because in the credits they do credit a translator.
Okay.
And that I think it was probably in 2021. They did do a. It did appear at the.
Fantasia.
Yeah, Japanese. Yeah, it appeared in Fantasia and appeared in the Japanese Film Festival in Australia.
Okay. Wow. How did you find about this movie, Not?
Like I found it out from Lolly.
Really?
Him and Shota sat down and watched Junkhead.
Oh.
While they were also watching, while he also watched Gunhead.
Gunhead?
Which is another Japanese project. It's from the 80s. Essentially, Ching is a long story short. Gunhead is a tokusatsu mecha.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those films where like just like it's one of those films that was made with like the 80s American action film mindset. But Junkhead. Junkhead, I did hear things about before Lolly, because Junkhead was a film that that I also heard about because it was also being mentioned alongside Mad God. Because two films that have taken Mad God taken a lot longer because that was
right.
That's started during the 90s. But like two films that are stop motion and made throughout the course of like several years.
Excuse me.
And additionally, Hori, the reason he made this whole thing was just like as she said, he's an interior decorator. He hadn't before this he really didn't have artistic aspirations. but then he heard at the age of 40, he heard, Makoto Shinkai making his first film, Voices of a Distant Star by himself. He was just inspired one day of, hey, maybe I can make a film by myself.
Okay. Oh, excuse me. Wow. All right. Oh, that's cool. Come on. All right, that's interesting. Nice. But is there anything else though? You want to say about Junkhead though, SGD?
Yeah, I think the story is definitely fascinating because for most of it, it's sort of Junkers going down deeper and deeper into the Undercity. And the story itself does end a bit abruptly, but it's in the sense of like, well, we know where they're going next. So yeah, some people describe it as an abrupt ending, but like, I don't think it's that abrupt. Because like, it seems like a good pause in the a good point to pause the story for now.
Okay.
Like, even if it's like theoretically a sequel doesn't come out, it does feel like a good place to leave off. Like it, hopefully it does get a sequel. Like it comes out one day.
Okay.
But it's definitely a film I would be happy to watch again.
All right. Nice. I'll probably have to check this out then. I like stop motion, so hey.
While you're also, can I also recommend you another stop motion film?
Oh, sure.
This is from the 60s. The Czechoslovakian short film, The Hand.
The Hand.
It was created, of course, in Czechoslovakia, and knowing like how I mentioned Czechoslovakia and not the Czech Republic, it was control. That was when it was under Soviet control. So the film was also made as a response to the fact that the Soviet control of art.
Okay.
But even then, The Hand is still really great. Sort of like just like Mad God and Junkhead, it was a film that was created over like a long period of time.
Okay.
And it was its director's last work before he passed away.
Damn. What happened?
He was. I'm trying to remember. I believe he passed away from natural causes.
Okay.
Yeah. Now I remember. It was a heart condition.
Okay. I see. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Wow. Oh. Oh, I'm stretching. Oh, excuse me. Alright. Oh. Alright. I guess, is that all you guys say, SGD, about this topic?
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty much. Alright.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Digimon Liberators this week, but I was like, oh no, Shoto still has one more part to his battle with his first NPC fight, so I should probably wait until next week when that's over.
Alright.
Because the novel started and we got 4 chapters of that all at once.
Okay. Ah, I see. Alright. Alright. Well, in that case then, I think we can be calling it here. Yeah. Going for what? A little over 3 hours now, almost 4. And it is, what time is it? 11:17 my end. Alright, that's not a bad place to be calling things. Alright, so with that said then, we will be calling the stream here. Yeah. Tomorrow should be Sonic Sunday, so we'll be continuing reading Archie Sonic. That should be fun. Ooh. And yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then next week, you know, we'll have a whole new schedule and stuff. I do need to schedule a drawing stream though that I want to do. Alright, so with that said then, thank you everyone who came. Thanks everyone watching in the replays. And yeah, until next time, good night!